thinking about how we educate. That's a policy issue. How we educate children, how we raise children. I don't know.
But there's a high school shooting fatigue that is going on because I tried to watch it. I tried to care, which sounds awful. And of course, when any time a life is lost, it's sickening. And
Two
what
in
he
this
did,
case.
Two in this case. He injured 14. But I don't know what it was. But I did try yesterday, and he was in the band, and he was targeting apparently popular kids in school.
Although the reports were that he just opened fire randomly.
Yeah, that when he walked in the school, he started shooting.
Right.
But-
And so here, the good news about this school shooting is, it's an odd thing to say, but I'm glad that the kid was captured and he wasn't killed at the scene, because now you have an opportunity to maybe climb into
his head
his
and
head
find out why he did what he did.
and maybe there's something to be gleaned. I don't know. But the other piece of this, though, too, is looking to the White House or looking to governors' mansions, General Assembly, state legislators, and saying, well, what can we do about this? And that's sort of what happened at the White House briefing yesterday with Sarah Sanders, Peter Alexander from NBC News. What's the president going to do about this?
I saw this. I know. They made it political.
And Sarah Sanders, this is the bite you're about to hear, is after Sarah Sanders delineated all the things that the president is doing in terms of Department of Justice resources and federal gun crime prosecutions to deal with violent crime in the country, the violent crime that he's spoken about at some length, made a priority, talked about with respect to our urban centers in particular, like, say, Chicago. And here's the exchange where it gets a little testy.
Since taking off
for the nation and tell Americans how he feels about this issue and try to do what he can with the bully pulpit.
I think he has, Peter. I mean, to sit there and question, I'm sorry, hold on. I was polite and let you finish, but let me be very clear on this. The fact that you're basically accusing the president of being complicit in a school shooting is outrageous.
It's his advertisement that accuses the Democrats of being complicit on a different topic. I'm not accusing the president of anything.
Ignoring the fact of the safety and security of our borders is very different. The president has been very clear and instructed the top law enforcement agency in this country to crack down on crime and to do everything they can to prevent these types of things. We've talked about it here numerous times, and we're going to continue moving forward in that process.
That's a real stretch to try and bootstrap in a discussion of immigration,
and with the school shootings
and Trump's ad about immigration. The idea that that you don't believe we should allow people in this country illegally, and we should do something to prevent people from coming to this country illegally, and we should deport people who commit violent crimes here, which is essentially the thrust of the president's ad, is the same thing as not having a press conference to decry school shooters. I mean, the logic is completely lost on me.
Well, it's just that they're coming up, they're continuing, they're pounding on Trump, the mainstream media, and they'll stop at nothing, even using a school shooting in rural Kentucky to turn that into a DACA conversation.
Right, or yes, use his bully pulpit to say what? It's one of those things, hey, go out and talk to people. Okay, what do you want me to say?
Well, after the shooting happened, I mean, even before we knew that the gunman was still alive, President Trump tweeted his condolences. Another school shooting, my condolences to the family.
Of course. But, I mean, in terms of what magic words do you think are going to be uttered that prevent the next school shooting or prevent the carnage that happens on a daily basis in cities like Chicago? You think it's words? That's what we're waiting for? I mean, I guess since that's all the press corps knows, and most of them don't have any other particular skill sets to the extent that English is even one of their skill sets.
Well, words are hard sometimes. Numbers are hard. That's how it is.
Communication, what we communicate, how we communicate is important. So I'm not dismissing communication and persuasion, but the idea that there are these magic words that are going to be uttered that would materially improve the culture as it pertains to violence and these school shootings, I don't know. I mean, maybe, maybe there's the opportunity for deeper reflection on the dynamics here that have very little to do with politics, and to the extent politics exacerbates rather than addresses some of these underlying problems. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss, but when you have the number of school shootings we've had over the last several years, the carnage we've had over the last several years, as well as shootings like the Vegas shooting, there is somebody's trying to tell us something. I don't know exactly what it is.
And I don't know what the solution is. I really don't. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the president says he's ready to talk under oath with Robert Mueller. And for the first time ever, he endorses a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning to a free man, Mike Scott.
Still outside the bars, 26 degrees outside, cloudy skies. We're tracking developments this morning in Colorado where a sheriff's deputy is dead and one suspect still at large in suburban Denver. The Adams County Sheriff's Office says SWAT and K-9 units are assisting in the search for suspects. President Trump says he's willing to talk to Special Counsel Robert Mueller in the Russia probe. He spoke to reporters in an unplanned press conference last night.
Just so you understand, there's been no collusion whatsoever. There's no obstruction whatsoever, and I'm looking forward to it.
The president repeated his claims that there was no collusion and told reporters such an interview could take place in the next couple of weeks. The president has arrived in Davos, Switzerland, where the leaders of France and Germany are warning other world leaders against a return to nationalism. France's Emmanuel Macron and Germany's Angela Merkel gave speeches at the World Economic Forum Wednesday. Former doctor of the U.S. Olympic gymnastics team will spend the rest of his life in prison. Larry Nassar was sentenced to 175 years by Ingham County Judge Rosemarie, who handed down decades in prison to Nassar yesterday.
I'm giving you 175 years, which is 2,100 months. I just signed your death warrant.
Aquilina handed down that sentence in a Michigan courtroom after more than 150 accusers gave statements. Meantime, the president of Michigan State University is resigning over that sexual abuse case. MSU President Luana Simon saying in her resignation letter that Nassar was an evil person who inflicted harm, and she again said she was unaware of any issues with Nassar until 2014. Mayor Emanuel tearing into the president over the latest move by the Justice Department to crack down on sanctuary cities. Emanuel blasting the White House while speaking in Washington, D.C.
The idea that the President of the United States and the Justice Department would arrest any one of us for believing in our ideals and carrying out the law of our city is wrong, fundamentally wrong.
His comments come after the DOJ sent out letters to Chicago and nearly 24 other jurisdictions, threatening them with the loss of federal grant money. Newly released video shows an off-duty bar fight involving the Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio Legrier and a bystander. Footage of Officer Robert Rialmo punching two men at a Northwest Side bar last month was unveiled yesterday by the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. Caterpillar says 2017 was a big year for the company. CAT's latest financial report shows 34% jump in machinery sales in October. The bulk of CAT's sales gains came in Asia, specifically in China. 76ers hammered the Bulls last night, 115-101. Former Sox slugger Jim Thome headed to the Baseball Hall of Fame, one of 4 players in the class of 2018. William Nylander lit the lamp 6 seconds into OT. Maple Leafs beat the Blackhawks 3-2 at the UC. The Fighting Illini get their first Big Ten win of the season, downing Indiana 73-71. DePaul beat Georgetown. Loyola in first place in the Missouri Valley after a win over Drake, 80-57. The news, a service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken. Rocket Mortgage is so simple, you can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today, licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. 5:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
5:36. Let's get an update on the morning roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. South side of Chicago, Garfield is blocked westbound from State Street to the Ryan Expressway after a major wreck, which happened during the overnight hours. Inbound Ryan has delays now from Cermak to Burn Circle. 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 15, but the on-ramp from Canalport is blocked after there was a rollover semi-crash. Inbound Eisenhower, it's bottled up western to just before the circle. This road work, 3 left lanes are closed there now. 37 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound Fine at 29. Not sure when that's going to clear. Edens and the Kennedy are clear. Outbound Stevenson at Harlem. Right lane's partially blocked after a trailer became separated from the cab. The inbound Stevenson's a little heavy now, approaching Kedzie. Inbound Bishop Ford got a 3-minute delay, Cottage Grove to the Ryan. Traffic's a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on the office items you use most, like paper. Now get a 10-ream case of printer paper, just $24.99. Saving money, equals savings in the bottom line. Offer in-store only on SKU number 513096, ends 127. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny and milder, high 43. Currently, we have 26. Your next news update is at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 10 p.m. on AM 560. Explore the wonderful world of wine with host James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. There should be no such thing as sanctuary cities in America. We'll talk about it when freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Lake County Jail. We'll be talking to Lake County Sheriff Mark Hearn at the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
It's a lovely facility here, very clean. Kind of like Cook County Sheriff's Department, but a little different.
Yeah. I want you to be nice to him because I'm angling for a get-out-of-jail-free card for Lake County.
Oh, that's right.
Now that I know they're a real thing.
Yeah, they are, actually.
Yeah.
Real thing.
I want one.
All right.
So you know. And
But
maybe,
you have to pony up some cash.
I wouldn't mind being deputized either.
Oh, really? I think you guys are going to throw me in jail. Cell Block C.
The word word on the street was that a lot of the bears who lived up in Lake County used to get deputized under a previous sheriff. So I mean,
that's right.
So I'm just saying, I can fight crime in my spare time. The President Trump, is saying that he will testify under oath. Or be interviewed under oath. Testify is too strong. Be interviewed under oath by special counsel Bob Mueller.
Yeah, he made this. This was an impromptu press conference last night while he was on his way to Air Force One to go to Switzerland. John Kelly was in a room with reporters doing an interview, and lo and behold, guess who walked by? President Trump.
Are you going to talk to Mueller? I'm looking forward to it, actually.
You want to?
You have a date set? Here's the story, just so you understand. There's been no collusion whatsoever. There's no obstruction whatsoever. And I'm looking forward to it. I do worry when I look at all of the things that you people don't report about with what's happening. If you take a look at, the 5 months worth of missing texts, that's a lot of missing texts. And as I said yesterday, that's prime time.
Is that a good idea for Trump to submit himself to an interview by Bob Mueller, particularly if that interview is under oath? You think that's judicious? Is that a wise proposition for the president? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text liner. Do you fear that that has the possibility of not only going off the rails, but being damaging politically and perhaps even damaging legally?
Yeah, I mean, he could perjure himself. I mean, this is a man, though, he has taken more depositions than probably anyone in modern America, because he gets sued all the time because of his number of businesses. But to put yourself in that vulnerable position where you might accidentally perjure yourself, I think it's a little too risky. Ty Cobb, his attorney, a few hours after that statement was made, came out and said, well, what my client meant to say is that that is a possibility that he may want to testify under oath, but we're looking at other possibilities. He's trying to simmer it down, calm everything down. Because if you were his attorney, you would never want him. I mean, even though I believe that there was no Russian collusion, but it's such a trap that you can get yourself into.
There's no question about that, particularly with someone who is, whose hallmark is kind of truthful hyperbole.
Yeah.
So truthful hyperbole, exaggerations, misstatements can be construed as lying to the FBI, particularly when I think it's safe to say you have a very kind of antagonistic group of individuals. And I don't mean that just because they're supposed to be antagonistic. They're supposed to follow wherever the facts lead, and if that leads to wrongdoing by the president or his inner circle or the cabinet officers, then I'm not talking about that. I mean, based on what we know about how the FBI has conducted itself, and to some extent the DOJ, how could you trust these agencies to be anything other than engaged in a gotcha game, even if, in other words, you're not going to get any benefit of the doubt. They're not going to construe anything innocently. So I don't see what the upside is for the president. Additionally, even if there is no concern about him lying under oath in any material way, there may be some things that he says that are truthful under oath that could be politically damaging.
Right.
He could walk back other statements he's made. He may recast positions he's previously taken or things he's previously said, and that creates a political problem, if not a legal problem. So it just seems to me there's very limited upside here. And additionally, he also doesn't know what Jeff Sessions, who's been interviewed by Mueller, has said. Mike Pompeo, CIA director, was interviewed by Mueller.
Comey.
Comey's a different story, but I'm talking about people in his cabinet.
Right.
Pompeo, Flynn, Sessions. He doesn't know what they've said, ostensibly.
But it feels, even though the campaign's over, he won, he still feels. Well, I feel as if there's still competition between him and Hillary Clinton.
Do it under oath, Mr. President?
You mean like Hillary did it under? Who said that?
I said that. Oh. Did you do it under oath?
You said it. You did say it. You say a lot. Did Hillary do it under oth?
I have no idea, but I'm not asking.
I think you have an idea. Don't you have an idea?
Do you think?
Wait a minute. Wait. Do you not have an idea? Do you really not have an idea? I'll give you an idea. She didn't do it under oath, but I would do it under oath. Listen,
you would.
But I would do it, and she didn't do it under oath, right?
Yeah, it's not about being in competition with Hillary Clinton. It's the idea that there was a standard that was set for her. Is it applicable to me? And where were you to be skeptical about her interview that was not under oath during the campaign. I think it's attempt to expose their hypocrisy, which is fair game.
And he, of course, talked about those missing text messages and the level of trust.
Do you trust the FBI?
Well, we're going to see. I mean, I am very disturbed, as is the general, as is everybody else that is intelligent.
Yeah.
So you do sort of look at that and say, what's going on? You do look at certain texts where they talk about insurance policies or insurance, where they say the kinds of things they're saying. You got to be concerned. But I would love to do that, and I'd like to do it as soon as possible.
When will you
Good
do
luck,
it, Mr.
everybody.
Yeah, and it's important to note that the president or the targets or the subjects of this ongoing investigation by Mueller, they're not the only ones. Republicans on the Hill, they're not the only ones raising concerns about the FBI. How about Terry Turchie? He's the former FBI counterterrorism director. He was on Fox and Friends. He said this about what we're coming to learn about the FBI and its operation under Director Comey.
This is a catastrophic failure. The FBI was failed at the top by the director, the deputy director, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page. Lisa Page, to give you a frame of reference here, was a chief legal counsel in the deputy director's office. That's a big deal. So this didn't just all happen. It wasn't just a series of coincidences. People who've worked major cases in the FBI know that these kinds of things just don't happen unless they're designed to happen this way. And when you look at little things, you have to be really alert to little things that were going on in the past year. For example, I'll give you three of them. Hillary Clinton numerous times was positive she was not going to be indicted. Remember that?
Yep.
She just had it all down, and she knew she wasn't going to be indicted. The Phoenix meeting on the tarmac, when we're then told that, we find out later that the FBI was more concerned about the leak that there was a meeting, I would have thought, and I did think early on, that, gosh, they wouldn't do that, such a glaring thing in front of an FBI security detail, but that wasn't the worry. The worry was the leak about the meeting. And then a couple of days later, after the exoneration by Director Comey, the president is out going at a campaign rally with Hillary Clinton. He knew that she wasn't going to be indicted, or that would have never been planned.
And what is former counterterrorism director Turchie talking about? What does he think is the upshot of all this? What happened at the FBI?
There's a lot of political dirty tricks going on here. I don't think this trail is going to stop at the door of the Russians. I think it's going to stop where the Democratic Party came through the door of the FBI. And I think this is Watergate Part 2. I think this is Hillary and Bill Clinton Part 2. We put up with all of this in the Clintons during my time in the FBI. And it was one scandal after another.
The Democrat Party came through the front door of the FBI. Pretty strong words and pretty strong warning for those who think they're going to get a fair shake. I mean, I don't know how you can go into or deal with Mueller and his investigators and the senior leadership at the FBI, including under Trump's appointee, Christopher Wray, at this point, with Strzok and Page still there, for goodness sakes. I don't think how you think they're anything other than trying to find the rationale for a conclusion they've already drawn, because that's what it's been. Clearly, I'm not talking about the rank and file level, the agent level. I'm talking about the senior leadership level, the policy-making level. That's what it's been. And I'm not saying Christopher Wray's implicated, but until he removes those who essentially have been implicated.
How do they still have a job there, though? I mean, honestly, it's the FBI's fault for this technical glitch where they lost the 50,000 plus text messages over a 5-month period. But for them to still hold positions of power at the FBI, I know that Peter Strzok's been taken off the Hillary Clinton email debacle, but still the fact that he's walking around in the FBI headquarters is strange to me.
Text from 708, he has to meet with Mueller. He has no choice. That's not true. He's not been subpoenaed, so no, he doesn't have to meet with him,
Sessions
number one.
wasn't subpoenaed either.
Number two, he doesn't have to meet with them and have that conversation under oath. Bruno in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, you know, Mueller has nothing as far as obstruction or as far as collusion goes, so this is nothing but a perjury trap. Trump would be insane to meet with Mueller, and if he does, I think I would say, for me to meet with you, I would require the Hillary treatment, which means nothing we say is under oath.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Bruno. And look, and they're people. University of Chicago professor Charles Lipson, friend of the show, he has a good piece in Real Clear Politics, asking a bunch of questions we don't have answers to about the FBI. Why did they decide to clear Hillary before key interviews with her and her aides? Why did DOJ grant immunity so freely to obtain evidence that could have been easily subpoenaed by a grand jury? Why did the government itself then destroy that evidence so no one could do a real investigation later? For that matter, why did they convene a grand jury in the first place? It was among the first things Mueller did in his own probe. Why didn't they, I should say? What involvement did the FBI counterintelligence division have with the Fusion GPS, Christopher Steele Russian dossier financed by the Clinton campaign, and so on and so forth? The questions that a lot of people have been asking, and you haven't got good answers either from the FBI or, to the extent it's relevant, from Mueller's investigative team. So why should President Trump run into Panzer fire unnecessarily? He shouldn't. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Lake County Jail.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, MUELLER, CPA.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
Building owners and managers. When it comes to maintaining the value of your commercial, industrial, or institutional building, there will be roof repairs or replacements for you to deal with. When you're looking for a good roofing contractor, search the ChicagoRoofing.org website for Chicagoland's best roofing contractors for repairs, replacements, or new construction. And you can check out their innovative roofing work also. All contractors at ChicagoRoofing.org proudly employ members of Roofers Union Local 11 who have undergone 5 years of rigorous training at the country's leading school for roofing, the Chicagoland Roofers Joint Apprenticeship Training Center. ChicagoRoofing.org contractors are at the top of their game and provide Chicagoland's best value for the best roofs all year long. Building owners and managers, you will have roof repairs or replacements to deal with. It's inevitable. Go to ChicagoRoofing.org. That's ChicagoRoofing.org.
Join Breakpoint commentator John Stonestreet for the Illinois Family Institute Worldview Conference, Saturday, February 10th at Medina Baptist Church, Medina, Illinois.
We have to figure out how to live in our cultural moment. We have to figure out how to live in a time where there seems to be increasing pressure on Christian belief and on Christian conviction and on being a Christian in public.
The Illinois Family Institute Worldview Conference, responding to the issues of our day from a biblical perspective with John Stonestreet.
God determines the time and the place in which we live. It is no accident, Christian, that you find yourself in this time and in this culture.
The IFI Worldview Conference, February 10th at Medina Baptist Church. $20 per person, $50 per family, but seating is limited. So register now at IllinoisFamily.org or call 708-781-9328. That's IllinoisFamily.org or 708-781-9328. 9328.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
It's going to happen. You're going to need a plumber. And when you do, choose AHS Plumbing and Sewer. Always honest service. That's what they stand for. Their team has over 25 years experience in the plumbing, drain, and sewer care business. If you have drains backing up, water leaks, or basement flooding, call AHS Plumbing and Sewer to solve your issue quickly and permanently. Serving Lake County, Illinois and North Cook County. Over 700 Angie's List reviews and dozens of awards. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. AHS Plumbing specializes in all types of drain and sewer care, including flood control. They're the company people know, like, and trust to care for their homes. Not the biggest, simply the best. Licensed, bonded, and insured, ready to serve your plumbing, drain, and sewer care needs in Lake County, Illinois and North Cook County. Need a plumber? Call AHS Plumbing and Sewer. Call Dan the Plumber at 847-636-2124. That's 847-636-2124. Online at ahsplumbing.com. ahsplumbing.com.
One size fits all has no place in your bedroom. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of Helix Sleep, and we know one mattress can't work for everyone. That's why we created the only mattress built for you. Go to helixsleep.com, take our 2-minute sleep quiz, and we'll build your custom mattress and ship it to you for free. Try it for 100 nights, and if it's not the best sleep you've ever had, we'll pick it up and give you your money back. Go to helixsleep.com/talkradio right now, and we'll give you $50 towards your custom mattress. That's helixsleep.com/talkradio.
2018 is an opportunity to grow your business with top talent. But how do you find it? ZipRecruiter. One click posts your job to over 100 job boards. Then, smart matching technology instantly alerts quality candidates about your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
5:57. Check of the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing heavy roadwork delays on the inbound Eisenhower this morning. Right before the Burn Circle, 3 left lanes were closed. We don't have word on west when this is going to be out of the way, but it's heavy. First, as usual, from Manheim to First Avenue. Then it's stop and go from Independence to just before the Circle. We're looking at 50 minutes from 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Edens is fine. Kennedy inbound, got a 2-minute delay from River Road till Canfield. Outbound is clear. Stevenson, 42 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 34. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound, the entrance to Canal Port's blocked with a rollover semi. Bishop Ford, 10 minutes worth of delays, start at 111th. Traffic service of Audible. Stay motivated, informed, and entertained with the power of audiobooks. Listen anytime, anywhere with the Audible app. Start a 30-day trial, and your first one is free. Just go to audible.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny, high 43. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 34. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, winds gusting past 40 miles per hour, mild with a high 53, then a mostly cloudy and breezy night, low 37. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
26 at O'Hare, the news, a service of Walgreens, looking to save money on your Medicare Part D prescriptions. As a preferred pharmacy, Walgreens offers copays as low as $0 on Tier 1 generics on select plans. Switch your prescriptions and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. 5:59, here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560, The Answer. Mayor Emanuel tearing into President Trump over the latest move by the Justice Department to crack down on sanctuary cities. Newly released video shows an off-duty bar fight involving the Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio LeGrier and a bystander. Footage of Officer Robert Riamo punching two men was unveiled yesterday by the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. Janice Jackson, officially the new CEO of the Chicago Public Schools, and Illinois losing 7 Toys R Us stores. 76ers beat the Bulls. Former White Sox star Jim Thome headed to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and the Maple Leafs beat the Blackhawks. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
America is open for business. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's the message President Trump's taking to Switzerland. He's in Davos, soon headed to the World Economic Forum. Fox's Simon Owen, live in our European bureau.
Dave, laying the groundwork for the president's visit, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin has been in Davos for a day already.
We're having lots of meetings again, lots of discussions, just focused on international trade, and what's good for the United States is good for the rest of the world in terms of growth.
The president saying his aim is to encourage investment in the United States. He's the first serving U.S. president to attend this meeting since President Clinton 18 years ago. Dave.
Simon, before the president left last night, he said he's open to the dreamers someday becoming U.S. citizens. Amid the ongoing negotiations to protect some immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as kids, he's also pushing for more border wall funding. And he's eager to defend himself in the Russia probe. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, President Trump says he's more than willing to answer questions under oath as part of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, telling reporters,
I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I guess they're talking about 2 or 3 weeks, but I would love to do it.
The president maintained he's done nothing wrong.
No collusion. I couldn't have cared less about Russians having to do with my campaign.
The president's lawyers have reportedly been negotiating with the special counsel's office about the possible interview. It's widely believed Mueller wants to ask President Trump about the firing of James Comey as head of the FBI. Dave.
Rachel, there was a manhunt in Colorado for 2 suspects after a sheriff's deputy was shot last night.
It is a great, incredible sadness that we report that our deputy was transported and pronounced dead at the hospital.
Adams County Deputy Amanda Overton, the gunman, was caught right after the shooting, but those other 2 got away. He was shot responding to an assault at a home north of Denver. Michigan State University's president has resigned over the school's handling of Larry Nassar, the doctor who sexually abused young girls, getting up to 175 years in prison in court. Fox News, fair and balanced.
President Trump will deliver his first State of the Union address on Tuesday, January 30th. And to mark the occasion, AM 560 The Answer is throwing a party. It's a taste of freedom, a State of the Union viewing party presented by HealthInsuranceMentors.com at Avante Banquets in Fox River Grove. Enjoy a 3-course meal as you watch the speech with fellow AM 560 listeners. Tickets are on sale now for just $56 at 560theanswer.com/taste. Sponsored in part by StoreLock.
When you're hiring, you want qualified candidates fast, and it can be hard to know where to find them. More than 3 million businesses use Indeed.com, the world's #1 job site. Whether you need entry-level or highly skilled employees, Indeed helps you find great talent and make the right hire. Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to give their first job post premium visibility as a sponsored job. Redeem this offer at Indeed.com/promo. That's Indeed.com/promo. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
You have to check blind spots to drive safely, right? Same thing goes for identity theft protection. If you just monitor your credit, you might miss something, like your info for sale on the dark web. LifeLock detects a wider range of identity threats to help protect your identity. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock offers visibility you might not get on your own. Membership starts at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS to save 10%.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you from Lake County Jail. Yeah. All right.
I see you have a poster behind you there. Care to
Yeah.
explain? It's on Twitter, too, if you go to Morning Answer Chicago or Chicago's Morning Answer. Where do we work? Where am I?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Dan Proft or Amy Jacobson. It's a poster of, who's that, Dan?
Well, I had a conversation with Red in the yard, and he's a man that knows how to get things from time to time.
Yeah.
He got me that poster, Rita Hayworth.
Oh, Rita Hayworth. Nice. Yeah. What's behind the poster, Dan?
Well, you know, get busy living or get busy dying is damn right.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
That's what Red said. Red told me in the yard. We're going to talk to Lake County Sheriff Mark Kern at 6:35 this morning, the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour. So we'll talk all kinds of law enforcement things. Speaking of law enforcement, Tiny Dancer in a bit of a twist over DOJ demands that Chicago prove it's in compliance with federal immigration law because, you know, Chicago isn't in compliance with federal immigration law, and Tiny Dancer likes it that way. And Cook County, Chicago, one of 23 jurisdictions that got a missive from the Department of Justice saying prove up. And if you don't submit the requisite documentation to prove up compliance with federal immigration law, we'll go ahead and subpoena it. And then after we establish that you're not in compliance, we'll go ahead and pull billions of dollars in grant money. And hopefully, if we deem it appropriate and we can pierce the veil of sovereign immunity, we'll throw you all in prison.
Wow.
Which is
that escalated quickly.
A happy prospect for those of us living under the half finger of a Tiny Dancer.
Can you imagine him getting hauled away in handcuffs?
Oh,
even if
fresh fish. Yeah.
But even at that Democratic forum the other night on NBC5 with Carol Maureen, all the Democrats were asked,
yeah,
you know, would you give up federal funding to remain a sanctuary state or a sanctuary city? And they all raised their hand.
Well, you know what the Chicago Democrat motto is when it comes to law enforcement.
I'd rather let 1,000 guilty men go free than chase after them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's really that's the Chicago way, Amy.
Yeah.
And so Tiny Dancer not happy about it. What do you think? 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA turnkey.pro text line. Two things. One, as much criticism as Sessions has received on a number of fronts, he has doggedly pursued sanctuary cities and states, the few that there are, including Illinois. And, you know, that process is underway. The Department of Justice is serious about law enforcement. And then secondarily, we've talked about a deal on DACA. And it focuses on permanent status for the DACA recipients.
Yes.
Wall funding, end to chain migration, moving toward merit-based, end to the diversity visa lottery. What about and now this is a local matter, but what about even a statement in principle against sanctuary cities and sanctuary states?
Well, I think the big news, the huge news this morning is last night before President Trump got onto his Air Force One to go to Switzerland, he, for the first time, endorsed a pathway to citizenship for Dreamers. And I know hardliners against this and Trump supporters are not happy this morning. Just listen to what President Trump said.
When citizenship for Dreamers?
We're going to morph into it. It's going to happen at some point in the future.
Morph into it?
Over a period of 10 to 12 years, somebody does a great job. They've worked hard. It gives incentive to do a great job, but they've worked hard. They've done terrifically, whether they have a little company or whether they work or whatever they're doing. If they do a great job, I think it's a nice thing to have the incentive of, after a period of years, being able to become a citizen.
Wow. Pathway to citizenship for Dreamers. In exchange, though, he wants a border security. I mean, he wants that wall. He wants funding to build that wall.
Well, he's going to have to get more than that. The wall funding, or whatever he just describes as wall funding, he's going to need to get more than that, I think, to get everybody on board, including, say, David Perdue. I mean, whatever deal he cuts in the Senate, he could probably impose on the House. But David Perdue, Tom Cotton, Chuck Grassley, and others are not going down this primrose path of kind of, phony baloney appropriation for border wall in exchange for permanent status plus a pathway to citizenship for 800,000 people. I just don't see it, and you can listen to David Perdue in his own words.
The Schumer shutdown was based on one thing. The Democrats misread the American public. This president's been very consistent all along. He said that any DACA solution, by the way, he wants a compassionate solution to the DACA situation. He wants to give them certainty. But any DACA solution has got to include border security, to include a wall, an end of chain migration, and an end to this diversity lottery. He's been very clear about that from the beginning.
So that's what they want, and so he's reminding the president that's what he wants as well. So the idea that Trump will be able to just do wall or border security funding for DACA, I find that something that would be difficult to swallow, even for your dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporters. But maybe I'm wrong. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line, because if you just do that, then you're not addressing any of the fundamental problems, and we're going to be back in the same place. You're not really changing anything. You're slowing or making it more difficult to get into this country illegally, but certainly not impossible. And then you still have the diversity visa lottery or some backdoor way of having the same thing as Durbin and Graham proposed. And you have chain migration, so people are still bringing their extended family over, including these DACA beneficiaries would potentially be eligible to do that at some point.
Are you surprised, though, that President Trump finally came out and said that there could be amnesty for the Dreamers?
No, not surprised at all. I don't think it's a wow moment. I thought it's always been on the table. It'd be interesting to actually have a discussion. This is a level of detail you don't usually get from President Trump. But talk about the composition of the DACA population, and let's talk about those that are that served in the military, and those that got a high school diploma, got a college education, that are working. And let's also talk about those who are not. And if you were the beneficiary of welfare state benefits, do you have to pay those back over a period of time, the way that, say, Switzerland is doing with migrants to that country before you can even be considered for citizenship status?
You have to pay back all the entitlement programs that you took part in.
Yeah, it's like James Braddock in Cinderella Man.
Yeah.
Where he goes back to the welfare office, he pays it back, have some honor.
Oh, I love that movie.
I needed a hand up, but now I'm on my feet and I don't need this anymore, and that's the point. That's what it should be. Of course, that's not what it is. So those kind of deals, the president wants to make a deal here, and he's open-minded on DACA. I think Schumer is much less interested in making a deal, and he wants to use this as a political wedge issue for 2018. And the president needs to be careful about that and understand Schumer's perspective.
Did you see how his constituents turned on him? Chuck Schumer has a place in Brooklyn, and all these Dreamers, they protested outside of his house for almost 2 hours because they don't feel he stood up enough for the Dreamers during this, funding debate.
Now, I do have a related question, too. Is Caroline Biden, is she going to be able to retain her citizenship status under this deal? Caroline Biden, that's Joe Biden's niece who $100,000 credit card fraud. Yeah, she's agreed to. She's got
to pay it back?
Pled guilty to grand larceny back last year, and now she's in the process of paying down the $110,000 in phony charges that she racked up as part of a credit card scam.
Well, she's born in America, right? I mean,
Yeah.
she's American.
Yeah.
So you can't really kick her out.
Yeah, it's true, I suppose. Just trying to look for an angle. Maybe part of the deal would be,
take her out.
I'll trade a DACA designee with a college degree for Caroline Biden.
Okay.
What's the one about that? Ken in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I don't think they should ever be given full citizenship. At the most, they should get legal resident status. At the most, if they're productive, legal residents. I have a friend who's paid tens of thousands of dollars to become a citizen. And, they're just stepping past that whole line. It's not right for them to get citizenship,
All right.
ever.
Thanks for the call, Ken.
But think how many more Republican voters we could have if a Republican president, Trump, gives amnesty to dreamers. It's a whole new pool.
There is something about that. There's a lot of, because I know a lot of individuals that were given amnesty in Reagan's 1986 immigration play, and
they'll be loyal for life.
They may not be Republicans, but they at least remember Reagan fondly.
Oh yeah,
that's not quite the same thing, but yeah, maybe. Vince in Mount Prospect.
Yes, I may have a different view on this. I think it's a great idea. They don't want to become citizens, so if you force them that they have to become citizens, maybe they'll leave on their own.
Okay, thanks for the call, Vince. I don't know that. Is there resistance to citizenship? I think most of them do want to become citizens.
Yes, they all do.
And also, to the extent that you don't want to become a citizen, but you still have permanent status, then why would you leave?
Right.
There's a reason they're here in the first place, and because they could have gone back to their home countries already. We're not keeping them in.
No, we're not.
So I don't see a real desire to leave, and understandably so. If you've built a life here, if you're doing well here, if you're considering what life is like in America, say versus El Salvador, probably don't want to leave. Tom in Schaumburg.
Well, given the fact that we've all heard numbers about DACA from 500,000 to now 780,000, let's give it to them. Let's put it in writing. We'll cap it at 780,000, no chain migration, and we want positive identification in every single one of them. We want their photographs, their fingerprints, and their DNA. Shouldn't be a problem given the fact that they all have such big mouths. We'll just ask them to open up their mouth one more time so we can swab their cheek, take their DNA, and know exactly who these people are. So if they do screw up in the future, then we can send them back to the other country that they want to be citizens of. No problem whatsoever with doing it that way. And the other thing I just want to bring out is this is called the Family Reunification Act. Isn't this like using the term the Earned Income Tax Credit when we should be calling it the Welfare Bonus Plan? Because we're giving money to people that don't even work and don't pay taxes. How in the world do you call that an Earned Income Tax Credit? The Democrats have really great ideas as far as renaming what things really are.
Yeah, something about Emerson. First language is corrupted, then man is corrupted. Thanks for the call, Tom. Dan in Libertyville.
Hello, I've got an idea for the DACA recipients and getting this all resolved. They have to serve 2 years on the border wall, either building the wall or standing up on the guard tower perches about every, 300 yards with bullhorns, and every Mexican who tries to approach the wall, they have to yell out to them, "Don't come in, or you'll have to stand here for 2 years." It's a good deterrent.
Yeah. Dan, maybe you're watching too much Game of Thrones.
Is it me, or does Dan sound like Hank from King of the Hill?
He does. It did sound a little bit like Hank.
Yeah.
But I think
Bobby?
I think
we're going to have to stand on that border wall, Bobby, for 2 years.
Yeah. So it's a combination of Hank Hill and Colonel Jessup, because you want them on that wall, and Night's Watch.
Yes.
Boy, there's a lot of wall references. That's a lot to take in. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Lake County Jail.
Hey, what are you in for?
I said Caitlyn Jenner wasn't brave and beautiful.
Brian, there's some bad people in here.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, the man who represented both Drew Peterson and former Governor Rod Blagojevich is killed by the Taliban. But first, here's your forecast today. It's going to be warmer, a high of 43 degrees. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, a low of 34. And for Friday, yes, it is around the corner, we're going to have clouds, a strong wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour, but it will be mild, a high of 53 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is our good friend Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Inbound Eisenhower. Good news. Just before the Burns Circle, there was some overnight road work. Cleared a bit late. It is gone now, so the travel times actually come down on the Ike. Still heavy, 25th past Harlem and Austin to Damon. It's now 43 minutes from 390 to downtown, outbound 31. Edens is 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. Kennedy, 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. On Stevenson, delays start around Lamont Road. It's 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound delay free. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound. The on-ramp from Canalport is closed. Clean up an earlier rollover truck crash. Bishop Ford, 23 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan, northbound Lakeshore Drive. Jammed in Hyde Park from Hayes to 57th, and a crash in the two right lanes. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, we did it. We met our Food for the Poor goal, and I wanted to take a minute to say thank you to each and every one of you who participated in our annual Food for the Poor campaign. Because of you, we were able to raise close to $200,000 to provide food for a year and clean water for life for over 3,200 children and their families in countries throughout Latin America and the Caribbean. And we're especially grateful to the many business benefactors who supported this campaign. Hey, when you hear their ads on this radio station, we'd ask that you support their businesses as a way of thanking them for their generosity. And just because the Christmas season is over and we're in a new year, it doesn't mean that the need has gone away. You can still make a $50 donation to Food for the Poor. Call 847-862-4673, and thanks again for your generosity.
It's going to happen. You're going to need a plumber. And when you do, choose AHS Plumbing and Sewer. Always honest service. That's what they stand for. Their team has over 25 years experience in the plumbing, drain, and sewer care business. If you have drains backing up, water leaks, or basement flooding, call AHS Plumbing and Sewer to solve your issue quickly and permanently. Serving Lake County, Illinois, and North Cook County. Over 700 Angie's List reviews and dozens of awards. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. AHS Plumbing specializes in all types of drain and sewer care, including flood control. They're the company people know, like, and trust to care for their homes. Not the biggest, simply the best. Licensed, bonded, and insured, ready to serve your plumbing, drain, and sewer care needs in Lake County, Illinois, and North Cook County. Need a plumber? Call AHS Plumbing and Sewer. Call Dan the Plumber at 847-636-2124. That's 847-636-2124. Online at ahsplumbing.com. ahsplumbing.com.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series featuring policymakers and opinion leaders. 60 seconds of sanity commentaries from yours truly this week on the March for Life and the Rule of Law. 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes from Illinois Opportunity Project, podcast of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, as well as our new series, Heart of the Matter, which features professional women speaking collegially about the salient issues of the day and the impact those issues have on family life and household budgets. The latest installment tackles the Me Too movement and when the Me Too reckoning may visit Springfield, Illinois. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
Hey, Butch, all I ever see you eat is raw meat, whiskey, and an occasional bowl of rusty nails. Now, I know you're tough, but with your diet, what's your secret to avoiding the flu?
Jim, this is between us. You hear?
Sure, Butch, you can trust me.
Well, I take Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. I take them on the go or under the table when no one's looking. It's the only way I'd ever get over 10 real servings of fruits and vegetables.
Is it like a vitamin or something?
No, it's food. They only use real whole ingredients. Not that isolated or synthetic crap you get with all the other guys. This is real stuff, Jim. Real stuff. They sell direct to consumers and ship right to your door, free of charge.
Well, Buckaroo, how do I get them?
Call them at 1-800-2468-751. Write it down, Jim, before someone sees me. It's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code WAGON for a special offer.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we're at Lake County Jail. We got some swag.
Yeah.
See this?
I like it. A sheriff's mug that says Lake County.
Yeah, pen. I don't see my get out of jail free card.
Oh, that's right. Dan is vying for a get out of jail free. Or do you want to be deputized, right?
But yeah,
the Lake County sheriff.
The lapel pin isn't going to cut it. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, you can get a uniform from the thrift store and try to look like a sheriff's deputy.
Yeah, then I'll get arrested,
Exactly,
and then I will be in Lake County jail.
Posturing.
So, as you know, my name has become synonymous with healthy living, Amy.
Oh. Yeah, what's your BMI up to? Is it in the Trump Trump area yet?
So as part of this, and since we're at a installation, if you will, Jordan Peterson, our friend from University of Toronto, the psychology professor up there, he has put out 12 rules to live by.
Okay.
12 rules to live by. Keep you out of Lake County Jail. Keep you out of Folsom Prison. Keep you on the straight and narrow. Are you ready for these, Amy? See how many you abide. I mean, if I can tear you away from your bagel and cream cheese.
I'm chowing down, wide load.
Peterson's rule number 1.
Yeah, what's that?
Stand up straight with your shoulders back.
Always. I always tell my players that, too, because you walk in the gym, you scare them.
Oh, really?
And Oprah always used to tell me that whenever I take a picture with her. She's like, girlfriend, you need to stand up. All right, Oprah.
Another name that's become synonymous with healthy living, Oprah. Rule 2, treat yourself like you would someone you are responsible for helping.
Okay.
Treat yourself like you would someone you're responsible for helping.
All right.
All right? Yeah. You think you buy that one?
Yeah.
You do?
Every day.
Make friends with people who want the best for you. So you can't...
That's hard.
You can't... You don't.
You try not to hang out with people who cut you down just so they feel better about themselves.
Yeah, you don't want people around you who are envious or
jealous.
Well, yes, envious, right?
Well, you say envious, I say jealous.
Well,
that's how we work.
Jealous does not have a negative connotation. You jealously guard something that's important.
Oh.
Envy is the sin. Covetous. That's
Dear
sinful.
Lord. All right, what's next?
Number 4, compare yourself with who you were yesterday, not with who someone else is today.
Okay.
How are you as compared to how you were yesterday?
I think I'm fine.
I think you've fallen back a pace. I think you were better yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not as gracious and
the point is,
as I am.
The point is, Amy, if I could translate this for you, Jordan Peterson's rule number 4 is don't live your life in the minds of somebody else.
Okay.
You know, wear that personal best.
Remember what Mary Tyler Moore said? What other people think about me is none of my business.
Who am I to argue with Mary Tyler Moore? Number 5, rule number 5, do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them.
This is mine. Pardon me?
Did you hear that? Do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them.
Okay. Do not let your kids do anything that
makes you
me dislike them. All right.
So can you...
playing video games.
But, dislike them? You don't dislike them for playing video games.
When they get a little
You're just
mouthy.
frustrated.
I'm frustrated with them, yeah. I have pretty good kids, I have to tell you.
Well, okay. Now, rule number 6, set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world.
Yeah. Get your own stuff together. Self-responsibility.
Yeah. It's a glass house rule, yeah.
Yes.
This is, kind of a Canadian version of some aphorisms. Jordan Peterson up there. This is how they talk. They go to the Tim Hortons and they talk about these. Rule number 7, pursue what's meaningful, not what's expedient. Number 8, tell the truth or at least don't lie. Good advice for President Trump if he does submit to that interview under oath.
Don't do it.
Rule 9.
Nothing good will come of it.
Rule 9, assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't.
I have to deal with that for 4 hours every day of my life for the past 3 years.
Yeah. All right. Be precise in your speech.
Oh, always. Even though sometimes words are hard.
You are the name assassinator, but you're precise with the assassinations.
Thank you.
Rule 11, do not bother children when they are skateboarding.
That's awesome. Well, because they could fall off, really.
I mean, I like Jordan Peterson because he's such a great intellectual, but
sometimes it's simple things.
It's like, did you ever read that, Life's Little Instruction book? Like
Yes.
these, if you're going after Moby Dick, bring the tartar sauce kind of stuff, that you'd quilt on a...
Yeah.
I don't know. Rule number 12, this is where you're going to fall in love with Jordan Peterson all over again.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. Oh, did he just find your sweet spot, as it were?
Yeah. Both of my cats are gone now within the past year. Oh, seriously?
There's one from the grave.
But I have 2 feral cats in my garage, and I set up heating pads for them. I have a little compound in my garage.
Yeah.
And they used to come to me. Now they're not coming to me anymore. And it makes me very sad.
Well...
and that's what they sound like when you try to pick them up.
Well, that's the one that you sent to the guillotine.
That was too soon, Dan. Okay.
Perfect segue to our 636 guest. He is Lake County Sheriff Mark Kern. We're going to pick up on your high crimes and my misdemeanors when we talk to Mark at 636.
Why not buy a police cap or T-shirt? You have the right to remain fabulous.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
No more excuses, gentlemen. It's a new year. It's time to do the things you've been putting off, especially when it comes to taking care of your health. I personally recommend visiting my friends at Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested. They make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men with low T. If you do have low T, it can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol levels, cause weight gain, and cause you to lose muscle mass. If this is something you've been experiencing, you should get your testosterone levels checked. Guys, take the first step this new year. Contact my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. That number again, 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 now or go to lowtcenter.com.
At last, the new year is here. What do you see ahead? Happy days and carefree nights?
Credit card bills?
Right. Credit card bills.
Looking at months of high-interest credit card bills from all that generous holiday gift-giving? Time to go to Lightstream and get a low-interest rate credit card consolidation loan. Act now to get an even lower rate with our special radio listener discount. Go to lightstream.com/news to get rates as low as 5.39% APR with autopay. And with average interest rates on credit cards at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands of dollars in interest. Makes the new year a whole lot brighter, doesn't it? The application takes minutes online. There are no fees, and you can have funds as soon as today. So if you have good to excellent credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount at lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/news. lightstream.com/news.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.5% autopay discount available only when you select autopay prior to loan funding. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for important information about limits on Lightstream loans and same-day funding.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to see if Lake County Sheriff Mark Kern can scramble up a psychopath from the jail for us to talk to. Because I want like
well,
that.
It's roll call right now. So.
I want like that Dr. Park Dietz, Richard Kukluski, the Iceman interviews. Remember from HBO?
Oh, yeah.
I want to do that here on the show. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah. First it was First it was Neil Diamond, and now Elton John calling it quits. But now let's go into the newsroom and say good morning. So, a man who's free, here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 26 degrees, and the president in Davos, Switzerland, is planning to carry his America First message to the World Economic Forum. The president says he's also looking forward to being interviewed under oath about alleged ties between Russia and the Trump campaign.
There's been no collusion whatsoever. There's no obstruction whatsoever. And I'm looking forward to it.
Have a date set, Mr. Speaker?
I don't know. No, I guess they're talking about 2 or 3 weeks, but I would love to do it.
And the president with an impromptu media scrum with reporters yesterday. An interview with special counsel Robert Mueller again could take place in the next few weeks. Mayor Emanuel tearing into the president over the latest moves by the Justice Department to crack down on sanctuary cities.
The idea that the President of the United States and the Justice Department would arrest any one of us for believing in our ideals and carrying out the law of our city is wrong. Fundamentally wrong.
Chicago's already sued the federal government over the issue. A 25-year-old Detroit police officer is in very critical condition at this hour, shot responding to a call of a domestic dispute last night.
The driver of the scout car looked over, noticed that his partner had been injured. He called out, to let everybody know that indeed we had an officer who had been shot at that point.
Assistant Police Chief Lashinda Stair describing what happened. Meantime, in Colorado, authorities are searching for a suspect in a shooting that left an Adams County Sheriff deputy dead. It happened Wednesday evening in Thornton, just north of Denver. The president of Michigan State University resigning because of the sexual abuse case of former gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar. The former MSU doctor, who also worked for USA Gymnastics, was sentenced to 175 years in prison yesterday. Newly released video shows an off-duty bar fight involving a Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonia LeGrier and a bystander. Footage of Officer Robert Rialmo punching two men at a Northwest Side bar last month was unveiled yesterday by the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. And there's a new leader at the Chicago Public Schools. Janice Jackson is now officially the new CEO. The Chicago Board of Education confirming her appointment yesterday. Homeschool students in West Virginia will not be playing high school varsity sports anytime soon. The so-called Tebow bill was shot down by the House Education Committee yesterday in West Virginia. It would have allowed those who do not attend a traditional school to still participate in extracurricular activities. Philadelphia over the Bulls last night, 115-101. Former White Sox slugger Jim Thome headed to the Baseball Hall of Fame along with Trevor Hoffman, Chipper Jones, and Vlad Guerrero. The Fighting Illini celebrating their first Big Ten basketball win of the season, beating Indiana. While in the Big East, DePaul clipped Georgetown. In the Valley, Loyola now in first place after a win over Drake. The news service of Pringles. When you stack up different flavors of Pringles, you create amazing new flavors. Stack up cheddar cheese, jalapeno, and French onion dip Pringles, and you've got yourself the 3-layer dip stack, which makes you a genius. Stack different flavors, create endless new ones with Pringles. 6:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains how far left the Democrats have gone.
There's one line there that really got me. The free market is not the solution to poverty. And everybody said, oh, that's the Communist Party, that's the Communist Manifesto. And it was the Democratic Party manifesto. We just don't realize how far left this group has gone.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
A bad cold and flu season is upon us. The main difference between them is the flu brings a fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, backed by more than 70 clinical studies.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jerry Kerrigan, one of the owners of FJ Kerrigan Plumbing Company, a third-generation family-run business. Our trusted longtime accountant referred us to Signature Bank, and we've never been happier. On one of our first meetings, Signature Bank CEO Mick O'Rourke said, "You worry about running the business, and we'll take care of everything else." Since that initial meeting, Signature Bank has lived up to every promise they've made. The decision-making is local, the staff is consistent, and the service is outstanding. FJ Kerrigan Plumbing understands the value of long-term customer relationships, and we plan to be a customer of Signature Bank for a long time to come.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. And here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens is heavy between Niles Center and the Junction. It's 26 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 33 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 15 from Montrose, 12 in the Express. Outbound 14 minutes to Montrose and 28 to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower delays are from St. Charles to the Tri-State and then 25th to Demon. 50 minutes now from 390 to downtown, 36 from Manheim, outbound 35 to 390. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound okay. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 30 minutes, 8094 to the Merge. Northbound Lakeshore Drive is heavy, 18th to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State, Reagan Tollway to the Ike. The other tollways are good. Traffic is a service of Audible. Stay motivated, informed, and entertained with the power of audiobooks. Listen anytime, anywhere with the Audible app. Start a 30-day trial. Your first one is free. Just go to audible.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny and mild today, high 43. Currently 26. Your next news update at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. Get top-tier catering at a budget-friendly price. Plan your party now at tastycatering.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Lake County Jail this morning. So in addition to my normal security detail, we have law enforcement from Lake County around
Yeah,
us.
I'm feeling very safe this morning. This is great.
And we're pleased to be joined now by our friend Mark Curran, who is the Lake County Sheriff. Mark, thanks for joining us and hosting us.
It's awesome to have you all here. Amy, I have not really met. She's 6 feet tall.
I know this.
She's got awesome skin. She's really a nice looking lady.
See?
So you have that's not bad waking up to, Dan.
Now
Sorry,
you
Dan,
you have to compliment me.
Yeah, what are some of his attributes?
Dan is one of the brightest individuals in this industry, if not right at the very top. So they're
That's not a substitute for that get out of jail free card.
you got
that
that
I
beard going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
he's trying to
looking a
look
little
like-
rough.
Yeah, he's trying to get a new look.
I thought, so your name, Mark, has become, when you think of the greats in Waukegan specifically, where we're broadcasting from, you think Ray Bradbury.
Indeed.
You think Jack Benny.
Right.
You think Mark Curran.
Well, thank you.
A great entertainer and
Yeah. Exactly.
And law enforcement professional.
Yeah, I'd like to have a street named after myself, I suppose.
Is that what this is all about, Mark? It's just getting the street name.
No,
That's
no,
why you're
no.
doing everything.
You know what? Quite frankly, I brought in my humidor, and it's
I did notice
and I
that.
offer Dan whatever he wants, ride home or what have you. For me,
the cigar will be sufficient.
Yeah,
I think.
I get to carry a gun, but I don't really aspire to have a street. I like having a cocktail and a cigar and being in oblivion.
Perfect. A cocktail, cigar, and some gunplay.
And by oblivion, I didn't mean
What
hammered.
could
I
go
meant
wrong? No, we know.
Yeah.
So how did your law enforcement career begin?
Okay, so
'Cause you were a fascinating man.
yeah, thanks. So I went to law school, worked for less than a year at Continental Bank downtown, and decided to go to law school, and went to IIT Kent. And I wanted to, I was always gravitating towards prosecution, what have you, so I worked at 26 and Cal as an intern. I worked at Lake County State's Attorney's Office as an intern. I had offers from both, went to Lake County, and then I was a prosecutor for 8 years in the Lake County State's Attorney's Office. Jim Ryan made me an offer to go to the Attorney General's Office, helped start up the Sexually Violent Person Bureau. Then I was chief of gang crimes and trials. And then I was going to run for state representative. I was a Democrat. My state representative was Ed Sullivan. He was pro-choice Republican. I thought that'd be cool, We'll see if I can get some of these conservatives to cross over, vote for me, and I'll be a state rep. And the Democrats weren't going to support me because of that one issue. And
Welcome to the party.
Exactly. So they came back to me and said, hey, how about the candidates that they had been seeking for sheriff kind of fell through. They asked me if I'd be interested in running for sheriff, and I did. I wound up having a primary against a guy who had been in this office for 30 years, beat him. Then I beat Gary Del Rey, who had been the sheriff for 10 years, and now I'm running for my fourth term.
And so, so you've been here for 15 years as the sheriff?
11.
Oh, yeah, you're running for your fourth term. I'm sorry, not in your fourth term. So 11 years. So give us, because 11 years kind of thinking about the trajectory of Illinois, thinking about the trajectory of the suburbs. What's happened? What have you seen over that decade in Lake County in terms of quality of life, safety of communities, existing challenges?
Yeah, I think that, I took over an office that, and I'm not trying to disparage or what have you, but we've professionalized it, essentially. It used to be where, everybody's was a precinct committee man, they could get their kid hired, or whoever was a relative. That was really the way in the door. And we've brought, good to great model, corporate standards into the office. But as far as the county goes, it's been fairly consistent. There's been growth. But I always say Lake County is probably the most accurate microcosm of the country as a whole. You go down to Highland Park, and you have a lot of wealthy liberals, if you will, kind of like San Francisco, what have you. You go out west, and it really looks like red states, Alabama, Georgia, what have you. You got kind of the upper crust along, Lake Forest, where you'd find in, maybe Republican establishment leading states. So it's and then we have the lakefront where we have a lot of public housing, and we have some serious problems. So the model of Lake County stayed pretty consistent. But it is a wild county.
What are the law enforcement challenges that are the most pressing in the moment? We see in some of the nearer-in suburbs of Chicago a spike in carjackings. There's been a lot of discussion about the opioid crisis in the suburbs. What's Lake County dealing with?
Right. So the opioid crisis is everywhere, and we're dealing with that as much as anyone is. It's amazing that they get into these schools, and when I say they, essentially all major narcotics are run by street gangs. That may not be necessarily a gang member that's in the school that's distributing it to his classmates, but that person has contact with a street gang. And they give it away initially just to get them to use it, knowing that essentially anybody that uses it a couple times is going to be hooked and will not be able to overcome that craving, and then you have a customer for life. So opioids sometimes start with injuries, in the Oxycontin, what have you, and gravitate towards heroin, which is cheaper and more powerful. But big problem everywhere in the country. As far as street violence, I think that Lake County, we do things a lot better. I heard you talking earlier about Cook County and what have you. There's evil in the world, and we're not afraid to call it. And we're not afraid to say, hey, you know what, you're a member of a street gang. Sorry, buddy, we are coming after you. We are watching you, and we're not making any apologies for trying to put you away. So very, very different culture up here. Political correctness is not, at that level where we can't be honest.
What are your rules if you arrest somebody who committed a violent crime who is here illegally? What's the protocol?
Yeah, let me say this much. It has always been the same. Essentially, if somebody, let's go back more than 25, 30 years, and police officers will tell you that if they stopped somebody and they were undocumented, they'd call, at that time it was INS, and they'd come pick them up and they'd be gone. Those days were so far gone I can't even tell you. So nobody is really interested in the fact that somebody, that arrested on a minor offense is here illegally. Didn't matter whether it was Bush or Obama or President Trump. They're only interested in once they're arrested, incarcerated, and then the gravity of the offense. So that's what they have limited resources, and so that's what makes their decision as to who's to be deported and who's not. But we cooperate 100% fully. I know you'll interview Sergeant Corbett later, and he'll tell you that ICE, for a period there, they were in our jail every single day. Cook County, far different. They don't allow them to come into the jail. So I've talked to ICE agents. They say that when a defendant is released from Cook County, then he goes into the neighborhood, and they have to go try to find him there because they won't even tell him that that person's being released. So we don't play those games. My whole thing is that we don't have the resources to be ICE agents, number one. Number two, I'm a big proponent of community policing, and that's really not the role of local police. And I'm not unique in that. I mean, the Illinois Chiefs of Police Association has the exact same response. Most sheriffs do. I don't know any sheriffs that really weigh in against that locally, at least.
Going back to street gangs and drugs, there is, growing in popularity the idea of legalizing marijuana for recreational use. California has done it. There's talk about doing it in Illinois. What, from a law enforcement perspective, what's your feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was okay with decriminalization of marijuana, in smaller amounts. I had no problems with that. And, once again, from a resource perspective, number one. Secondly, from the perspective that is that really something that we want to be criminalizing? I don't think so. I think, in all honesty, I've smoked marijuana when I was young, and I inhaled and all the rest of that.
No,
and yeah, can you believe that? I went to college, but it's not.
I'm around a bad element. I have not.
Dan has never even tried a cigarette.
Wow, but he gets
But he likes to smoke cigars.
So that's why I That's what I smoke is now is a cigar, and a cigar buzz is as good as it gets.
Well, Mark grew up into a gentleman. I was a gentleman from a young age.
I smoked a cigar once.
Yeah.
But nobody told me not to inhale. I ended up in the emergency room in San Diego.
Yeah.
So I have not
Really?
touched a cigar since.
So you needed a little milder.
Just knock it off.
Yeah.
Just stop.
So you see, I mean, Demi Moore, they're all on the cover of Cigar Aficionado.
Oh, yeah. They know what they're doing, though. Somebody coached them.
Yeah, right. They're holding a cigar.
So marijuana, the problem is, and I've got 3 boys, and I would tell them that it is bad. It's so bad. It kills brain cells. It's horrible for you. It's horrible long term. I'm not a proponent of it. And, getting beyond that, we have a real hard time quantifying it now. So somebody's under the influence of marijuana, we don't know when, they last smoked it, so, what have you. I've dealt with the sheriffs in Colorado and been in long discussions with them as to how it's working out. It's not working out. The roads are much less safe, so it's a really bad idea. And
that's interesting. The Colorado experience. You have real world laboratories to assess the results.
Right. Exactly.
Now, how did you, when you came in as Lake County Sheriff, how did you deal with the loss of the number of Chicago Bears who were deputies at large for the Lake County Sheriff's Police? How did you replace, like, say, Roland Harper in the force?
So I was telling Dan that the sheriff who was back in the 80s, Mickey Babcock, he essentially deputized
the entire
the Bears.
85 Bears.
Yeah.
Right. Fridge Perry had a badge, and Walter Payton had a badge. What that means is really they were, the sheriff has the right to deputize. Before the Illinois Law Enforcement Training Standards came along and said that, you can't
wet
be
blanket.
Well, what does it mean to be deputized? So if you're deputized,
so I'll tell you, Amy, this is a true story. These are true stories.
You could have had Matsui leading you into a crack house rather than you having to do it yourself.
Exactly. They
That's
have
the way you do
they have
it.
arrest powers.
Really?
So so there was one of the sheriff's big contributors out west that would go into the bar and he'd carry his gun out in a holster. I'm not kidding you. This is Lake County, 1980s. And essentially he'd have a few pops, and then one time he wound up firing it as a warning shot, kind of into the corner of the room, and we got called out. And then they tried to take back some of the badges. But when we had some correctional officers who were on trial a while back, and part of their defense was that the record keeping in Lake County at that time was so bad that you can't prove anything. And they went through all the Bears that had badges and all the other people and what have you, and then
was it the whole offensive line, everybody?
Randy Whitmore, who's big, and Roger Whitmore, they're big tow operators up in Zion and Waukegan, and they were telling me that their brother Rick Whitmore, when he was a detective in the office, that Walter Payton and Roland Harper would basically hang out at his desk all day.
That's awesome.
In the off season,
because who wants to be home with the wife?
That would be a great cop buddy movie. Walter Payton, Michael Jordan lived in Highland Park. Walter Payton and Michael Jordan, like a cop buddy movie.
Yeah, you've had some pretty famous people here.
Yeah,
we have. George Ryan was in our
jail.
Yeah, Denny Hastert was in our
jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Litany of Republican politicians who passed through the jail.
Right.
I was talking about sports athletes, but okay.
Yeah.
He is Mark Kern. He's the Lake County Sheriff. He's hosting us today as we broadcast from the Lake County Jail. Mark, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Do you know what they do to cops in jail? Hey, man, when you were a cop, did they let you use the siren?
Yeah, it's part of the job.
That's so cool. Hey, when you were a cop, when you were going to a crime scene, did you go chung chung like Law and Order?
No, that would be very unprofessional.
Oh, for sure. Oh, hey, by the way.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Home sales fell as prices rose. Airlines report disappointing results. Chicago suing U.S. Steel. Those stories next.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated, price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino, and believe me, If SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-693-3399. That's 800-693-3399. 800-693-3399. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
December's home sales numbers down more than expected because of a dwindling inventory, pushing prices higher. The National Association of Realtors says the tight inventory may mean there will be little growth in sales as first-time home buyers are sidelined by the rising cost of home ownership. Airlines had to fasten their seatbelts Wednesday. The shares of American Airlines and Spirit Air both down 7%, United down almost 11%. The drop came after United said it's planning to aggressively go after passengers by adding new flights. Some analysts fear that may mean reduced fares. The city of Chicago is suing U.S. Steel over the alleged discharge from an area plant of carcinogens. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hi, this is Karen Feldman, candidate in the 59th House District. I'm running for state representative because I will work to create an ethical environment in Illinois government, which means supporting term limits and ending career politicians. I will push for fair and independent redistricting reform, stop family burdening Madigan tax hikes, and demand property tax relief for all.
Let's get Illinois back into shape. A vote for Karen Feldman is a vote for Illinois. Paid for by the Friends of Karen Feldman.
Deciding whether to own or rent compact equipment. Getting that part today, not tomorrow. The right math to make the financing work. No matter what your size, growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. And with the right support, it all adds up. You work hard and smart. PatentCat is ready to do the same. Call PatentCat 630-279-4400. Now get 0% for 60 months at PatentCat. Now with a standard 2-year warranty. Call 630-279-4400.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
Nobody should have to live with depression. Not anymore.
It's a new year. Time for a new you.
Abilify, Wellbutrin, Seroquel, Rexulti. These are common drugs prescribed for depression. You may be able to get off the drugs and the endless counseling. You've heard about the revolutionary TMS therapy.
Now it's time to get a free consultation from HPR Centers.
End your frustration with life and relationships. In a few short weeks, your life will change. It's FDA cleared, safe, and it's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare. TMS therapy treats the cause of your depression. Millions have been treated. The results, nothing short of outstanding. HPR Centers are proud to bring TMS therapy to Chicagoland and Milwaukee.
You need to take the first step. Call.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
HPR Centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Honest Abe Lincoln wisely said, "America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. Wise indeed.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI Resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll-free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit AutomatedSYS.com.
Yep. Traffic. It is what it is.
Stalled cars on the Kennedy Expressway.
Missed concerts, football games, lots of cold dinners, and cold shoulders from Cindy. How much longer do I have to do this? Kids miss me. Cindy misses me. Our marriage is missing me.
From Tabota and Associates.
Then I heard Jack Tabota on the radio again.
Financial strategy designed to help them retire sooner.
What do I have to lose? So I called him. We met, discussed my numbers, then just talked. Talked about life, family, retirement, then something I didn't expect. Jack says retirement wasn't as far off as I thought. And today, the only thing I'm missing is the traffic.
Do you need a financial strategy for retirement? Let's talk. Tabota and Associates, 630-777-7955. 630-777-7955. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AE Wealth Management and Tabota and Associates are not affiliated companies.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He would love to talk to Robert Mueller. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and President Trump says he would do it under oath.
There's been no collusion whatsoever. There's no obstruction whatsoever, and I'm looking forward to it.
But a White House lawyer then said the president was speaking hurriedly, and details about a possible sit-down with the special counsel on the Russia probe are still being worked out. The president also made news talking about the Dreamers. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, President Trump told reporters at the White House he's open to a path to citizenship for illegal immigrants brought here as children.
Over a period of 10 to 12 years, somebody does a great job. They've worked hard. It gives incentive to do a great job.
The president still says he wants $25 billion for a border wall, which he says he would build under budget. Republicans and Democrats have been gridlocked over a fix for DACA, the Obama-era program that protects dreamers from deportation. It expires in March. Dave?
Rachel, the president said all that before going to Switzerland and the World Economic Forum.
But when the president joins 70 other heads of state in Davos, he will face some resistance from those like Germany's Angela Merkel, who take issue with his America's First agenda, calling it right-wing populism.
Fox's Kelly Wright. Later this hour, President Trump will meet with British Prime Minister Theresa May. Fallout at Michigan State University over doctor-turned-molester Larry Nassar. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has this live.
Well, University President Lou Anna Simon has resigned amid mounting pressure hours after Larry Nassar was sentenced, getting 40 to 175 years. Simon apologized to Nassar's victims in her resignation letter. Some of those victims who read statements at the former gymnastics doctor's sentencing referenced Simon by name. The school has asked the state attorney general to review how the university handled the Nassar case. It's also set up a $10 million fund to support the victims. Yesterday, the U.S. Olympic Committee's CEO announced an independent investigation as well. Dave?
Tanya, sheriff's deputy was murdered last night near Denver, Colorado. The shooter was captured. 2 others are still on the run. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Clouds and 26 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Mayor Emanuel tearing into President Trump over the latest move by the Justice Department to crack down on sanctuary cities. Emanuel blasting the White House yesterday while speaking in Washington, D.C. His comments came after the Department of Justice sent out letters to Chicago and 2 dozen other jurisdictions threatening them with loss of grant money if they can't prove they are cooperating with immigration authorities. The city of Chicago has sued the federal government over that issue. The city is also suing U.S. Steel, alleging it violated federal law with discharges of a potentially carcinogenic chemical from a Northwest Indiana plant. The federal lawsuit filed comes after the Surfrider Foundation also filed suit against the steelmaker for similar charges. Newly released video shows an off-duty bar fight involving a Chicago police officer who shot and killed Quintonio Legrier and a bystander. Footage of Officer Robert Rialmo punching two men at a Northwest Side bar last night was unveiled by the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. Chicago police are looking for the person who shot and killed a store owner during a robbery on the Northwest Side. The debate over the Illinois Attorney General's role in fighting corruption has taken center stage during a live-streamed Democratic candidate forum ahead of the March primary. 8 Democrats seeking the chance to replace Attorney General Lisa Madigan appeared before the Chicago Tribune editorial board, the tone fiery at times, several questioning campaign contributions to State Senator Kwame Raoul, who leads in fundraising and high-profile endorsements. Janice Jackson is now the CEO of the Chicago Public Schools. Chicago Board of Education confirmed her appointment yesterday. She had been acting CEO since Forrest Claypool stepped down last month. Philadelphia win over the Bulls 115-101 last night. Maple Leafs over the Blackhawks in OT 3-2. Former White Sox slugger Jim Thome headed to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Fighting Illini earned their first Big Ten basketball win of the season, beating Indiana. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
Year after every new year, you make the same resolutions for yourself, hoping that one of these times they just might stick. You know, the whole new year, new you thing. You're going to lose weight, quit smoking, eat better, find the love of your life. Well, best of luck to you. How about a resolution that can really happen? One for your business's computer and IT network. It's a goal that can be accomplished and realized instantly with the help of Turnkey IT. 2018 is poised for growth. You can't afford to let your business become sidetracked by poor IT assistance or dated computer hardware or software. Remember, in the changing world of IT, what you upgraded a few years ago may not cut it in the new year. One of the biggest parts of your business infrastructure is your IT network. And if that's not right, the impact can cost you a lot of money. Make your resolution today. Be ready to handle the growth expected in 2018 with your business backbone supported by Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
For many businesses, hiring is tough. You want access to highly qualified candidates fast. And you don't want to sign a long-term contract or pay upfront fees. That's why you need Indeed.com, delivering 6 times more hires than any other job site, according to independent research. Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to give their first job post premium visibility as a sponsored job. Redeem this offer at Indeed.com/credit. That's Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
You have to check blind spots to drive safely, right? Same thing goes for identity theft protection. If you just monitor your credit, you might miss something, like your info for sale on the dark web. LifeLock detects a wider range of identity threats to help protect your identity. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock offers visibility you might not get on your own. Membership starts at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS to save 10%.
7:07. Let's get an update on the roads and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Tri-State Tollway northbound, we're seeing delays from around 115th and Ridgeland to 87th, from the Stevenson to Ogden, from Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, and from the Grand Avenue curve to Irving Park. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. The other tollways are okay for now. Eden's inbound 26 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. Kennedy, inbound delays start at Cumberland. 44 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 23 in the Express. Outbound 30 minutes to O'Hare. Inbound to Eisenhower, an hour and 3 minutes from 390 to downtown. 48 minutes from Manheim. There's a crash just past Manheim in the left lane. Outbound 35 minutes downtown to 390. Stevenson is an hour and 5 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, 50 minutes from the Tri-State, outbound 40 to 3:55. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 is clear. Bishop Ford, 45 minutes from 8094 to the merge. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine throughout the day today with a high 43. Then it will be mainly clear tonight, low 34. Tomorrow, clouds increase, winds gusting past 40 miles per hour, high 53. Mostly cloudy and breezy at night with a low 37. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
26 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and we are broadcasting live from Lake County Jail. Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison.
Mhm.
We're doing Lake County Jail.
Yes, we are. And we have a little bit of breaking news this morning. You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
A new proposed Illinois law would ban kids under 12 from playing tackle football. It's called the Dave Duerson Act. And the state rep, Carol Sente, is that her name?
Yeah.
I didn't assassinate her name.
No, that's right.
She's proposing this law.
Retiring state rep.
Yeah, retiring
She's
state rep.
terrible.
She'll be having a press conference at 11 a.m. at the Thompson Center. David Duerson's son will be there, as well as 85 Chicago Bears.
Finally, the 85 Bears are getting some publicity and some love. I mean, in addition to the fact that all of them are deputized Lake County Sheriff's
Exactly.
Police. So there's that. Though that's great. Actually,
Wow.
I don't
Can't
know
we
if
as
that's
parents
great.
decide whether or not our kids should play football? We don't need the government to propose a ban on it.
Well, it's easier to tackle football than it is, say, unfunded pension liabilities. So that's what the legislators here focus on.
Yeah.
Youth sports. Because
Yeah.
that's their area of expertise. When I think
It's
of youth sports, I think
state reps.
Well, I think what would Carol Sente have to say on the topic of youth
Stop
sports?
it.
I don't know. Should I let my kid play lacrosse?
says-
Is he too young?
Yeah.
Let me call Carol Sente and see what she has to say about my child's participation in extracurricular activities.
She says she wants to protect the children from getting CTE.
No, it's always for the kids. No, I
Yeah,
got
no,
it.
it's always about the
people
children.
will die if not for.
I mean, that is so ridiculous. I can't even believe it.
All right.
You want to take this?
Yeah.
You
See,
wanna
this
go?
is what I was waiting for. All right, we got. We're at Lake County Jail. This is where they have prisoners. Mostly they're white collar criminals from Lake Forest
No.
and Republican politicians.
Exactly right.
No, as Mark Kern was telling us, obviously Lake County is kind of a microcosm of the country. You have very wealthy, you have struggling communities,
You have rural communities.
right? Rural communities. It's very diverse across the range of demographics.
And they have 524 inmates here in this jail in Lake County.
And some of them are not former elected officials, as I
Exactly.
understand that, which
Yes.
is jarring to learn. We're pleased to be joined by PIO, the Public Information Officer for Lake County Sheriff's Office. He is Chris Covelli. You probably remember Chris's name, and we certainly do, because he was the point person for us and for the Chicago media, the whole Lieutenant Glinowitz saga. Travesty, tragedy, all wrapped into one. Chris, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you both for being here. It's great to have you.
Well, so a little bit, Mark Kern, obviously your boss, the sheriff, gave us a little bit of his background and the background of kind of what the big issues are for the Lake County Sheriff's Police. But part of your responsibility is kind of communicating what the Sheriff's Police is and isn't doing, what it can and it cannot do on the range of challenges that the law enforcement personnel on the street are seeking to affect. So you just kind of speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that the Lake County Sheriff's Office here, we're at the forefront of transparency, and that's been one of Sheriff Kern's priorities since he was elected. And I think that really resonates with our members of the community here in Lake County. They expect to know what their sheriff's office is doing. They expect to know what their government is doing. And we take that as a top priority. We come out and we'll explain what we have going on here in the office, operationally, what we have going on, new policies, new procedures. The office has been professionalized over the years. There's no doubt about that. And I think that what validates that is the great partnership we've built with the community throughout the years. And
how does that manifest itself in dealing with municipal police departments? Because I think people say sheriff's police and then local police, and then obviously you go up the food chain. But your interactions with local police departments, the kind of collaboration, competition, how does that play itself out?
You know what? I would say that we work very well with our municipal partners, municipal police departments. Sometimes it is confusing to the public that the sheriff is responsible for having a jail, we provide security in the courthouse. We also, major responsibility is providing police services to our unincorporated areas. And there's several municipalities that have contracted with us to provide police services in those towns where they don't have a police department.
How many are there?
We have Long Grove, Deer Park, Beach Park, Volo, North Barrington.
You got to
Lake
protect
Barrington.
the car museum in Volo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We take
It's a
care
hot
of that.
spot. How did you know?
Yeah, I know.
So
Case
it's a
in
big
the
job.
joint.
And how many deputies are there?
We have more than 150 deputies that are out on the street. We also have fully staffed criminal investigations division, warrants division, gang and drug task force. They go out and tackle gang and drug issues throughout the community. And we have member municipal departments that also supply officers to be part of this gang task force, and it's proven to be very successful, taking drug dealers and gangbangers off the streets.
Now, the Lieutenant Glenowitz murder, which turned out to be a suicide, how have you processed that, and how has that changed you? Because you guys were seen all, Mark Kern, your sheriff, everybody, you were seen around the country.
Yeah, it was a tough case, a lot of stress for everybody involved, no doubt about it, and obviously, as you know, a lot of media attention, national media attention. The Lake County Major Crime Task Force was a part of that investigation. I'll tell you honestly, there were days where, I'd hear information, it would make me think, well, what could this be? Could this be a suicide? There'd be days I would think, well, was this an organized hit? Because he was obviously connected with some very bad people, which came out during the investigation.
How much of a hit do you think that police, law enforcement in Lake County took because of that case?
Well, you know what? I would say the investigators on that case did an extremely thorough job. You have to look at absolutely everything before you come out and make a final conclusion. Keep in mind, this guy shot himself twice. That's not very common. He staged a scene. He had 30 years of experience where he was able to put that to use to throw investigators off. He shot through one of his cell phones. Both his cell phones had to go to the FBI lab in Quantico to be examined. And once we started receiving some of those results back, some of the text messages that he attempted to delete and hide, it started to become very apparent when we connected that with the financials. And, the dots started to connect. And certainly the investigation, as soon as we could, without a doubt, say what happened, it came out in the public light and at a press conference.
I mean, he pulled the wool over the eyes of everybody. I mean, even the Governor Rauner, was at his funeral.
Yes, yeah, that's true. It's it was unbelievable. I mean, something that there will be books written about.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be a major movie.
Probably.
Yeah, Amy's writing a treatment on it now, so you may want to stick around. She's going to cast it in the near term.
Yeah.
All right, he is Sergeant Chris Cavelli,
Yes.
Who is the Public Information Officer for the Lake County Sheriff's Police. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Lake County Jail.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, we interview a Lake County inmate and what it's like to live in this jail. But first, here's your forecast. Today, it is going to be partly sunny, mild, a high of 43 degrees. Tonight, clear, a low of 34. And for Friday, increasing cloudiness. Wind gusts, though, past 40 miles per hour, so hold on to your hats. It will be mild, though, and unseasonably warm, a high of 53 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy and Dan, your inbound Kennedy is getting heavier now with delays from Canfield to the Burn Circle. It's 55 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 25 from Montrose, 23 in the Express. Outbound 15 minutes to Montrose and 33 to O'Hare. Aiden's 26 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 24. The Eisenhower is an hour, 390 to downtown. Got a crash past Manheim in the left lane, outbound 38 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Delays start around Weber Road. Up on 38 minutes to 3:55. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57's clear, but the Bishop Ford, 45 minutes from 8094 to the merge. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is slow. Irving Park to North Avenue. Northbound 18th to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State delays, 115th to 31st. And in pockets from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park, Veterans Memorial, about to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, we are heading to Riviera Maya, Mexico. That's fine. It's our annual Passport to Paradise trip presented by Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling and by Joe Cotton Ford. We'll be staying at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera Cancun Resort and Spa. It's a gorgeous resort, 9 gourmet restaurants, 6 bars, unlimited premium drinks, 24-hour room service. It's beautiful, unlimited luxury, adults-only resort situated on Maroma Beach, which is recognized as one of the world's best beaches. I've been there. It's beautiful. You can snorkel right there. It's heavenly. So book your trip by going to 560theanswer.com/passport. Apple Vacations has secured a great price for us for this trip, but it will not last forever. And guess what? Listen up. From now until February 9th, you can enter to win a trip for 2 by downloading and launching the AM560 mobile app. Just go to 560theanswer.com/mobile to get the mobile app and enter to win this trip. And don't miss your chance to escape the cold and snow of Chicago and spend a week with us in paradise. Go to 560theanswer.com/passport.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560. The Answer.
Been a lot of fun talk about prison today, but I am here to scare you straight. I am here to scare you straight!
Good morning, Dan
Wow.
and Amy. Oh, my goodness. All right. David Corbin, who is the Corrections Day Shift Commander for Lake County Jail, he went around the community here.
Yeah.
Those that didn't have Do Not Disturb on their jail cells here, and asked if anybody wanted to speak with us, any of the inmates here wanted to speak with us, and one intrepid gentleman volunteered. His name is Jason Colazzo. He is currently a resident of Lake County Jail, and he joins us now. Jason, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
So, Jason, you spent time in Cook County Jail, 26 in Cal, and just compare what the difference is between that jail and here, this jail in Lake County.
Lake County is like a walk in the park to me, so it's just like a hotel compared to Cook County. Cook County is a little bit different, a little bit, you got to be more stern, and, you know, you got to watch your back over there. So
What is it about Lake County Jail that that really distinguishes from Cook? Is it the turn-down service? Is it the mints on the pillows? What is it exactly?
the meals are better here, let me tell you that much.
Wait, it's beef stroganoff? I mean, what are we talking about? What's Thursday's offerings?
Yeah, what do you have?
I mean, sometimes we get if we work the kitchen, you get some nachos. So
do they do a prefix menu as well, or
a prefix menu?
Well, I don't know. Is that, you mean, you have.
But it's got to be leadership, right? That makes it a better living environment for you.
I guess if it's more better if you're in the workers' party here.
So what, does everybody chant fresh fish when you enter here, and then Byron Hadley comes and beats you up? Is that how it works?
No, on Cook County they'll say I'm the new, but not here.
So what happens at Cook County? Give us a Cook County example. I mean, this is interesting. Amy is a noted penologist. I don't know if you know that.
Many prisons,
so this is interesting
jails.
for her just to do some comparison.
Oh, if you go to Cook County, you have to definitely be more stern. I mean, you're not going to go in there and with your head down. You know, you just got to go in there.
Well, you're saying you got to watch your back, right?
Yeah.
At all times.
All time.
What did you see at County when you were there? Cook County.
Cook County, you got the dick doctor. The dick doctor, you gotta. He tests you with put dick in the hand and put the Q-tip. You know.
I don't know if the FCC. We better get them on the other line.
And then you had the strip search with a bunch of inmates.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
With cuffs on.
Uh-huh.
And they tell you to bend over, cough, and then but they don't do it now. But that's when they used to do it.
And why were you in Cook County Jail? Bad legal representation?
Just it happens. I had some weed charges. So
okay. All right.
Okay. So describe a typical day here at Lake County Jail. What time do you get up? What are your responsibilities?
I get up at 7, do a little bit of maintenance work. Eat good if you work the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And then the commissary food's a little bit different. You get it 2 times instead of 1 time in Cook County. So it's just different.
Well, how do you spend your day? What do they let you out of the jail
they
cell?
let me play.
Is there a pod
They let me play PS4. They let me eat some pizza on Fridays. What else could you ask for? Like I said, it's like a hotel.
Do they have openings here? Maybe.
Wait, my kids might like it.
PS4.
They might
actually.
You don't have to go nowhere. Let me tell you that. No responsibility. So
well,
let me tell you
but
that.
you've earned the respect to have a job because some people, not every prisoner and inmates, can, have the ability to work.
Not every inmate can work, of course. But yeah, I earned that responsibility.
So do they give you time to fashion shanks too? Do they have a wood shop or what?
They might
when is that
actually
during the day?
Do you have a picture of Rita Hayworth on your cell? In your cell, I mean.
No, I'm about to take that picture down with me right now.
Who does it? Dan, help the guy out.
Oh, sure. And I'll be charged as an accomplice when he breaks out. He tunnels out of here, winds up in Lake Bluff.
So how much longer do you have here? What's your
I only got
future?
till Monday.
Monday, then you're gone?
Yeah, then I'm
All right,
gone.
have you learned your lesson? Are you going to lead a respectable
Well, do you even want to leave?
I got the PS4. I got everything here.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I want to get out of here.
So how many of the Lake County Sheriff's Police have you done their taxes for? Do you provide that as well? So what is the story here? How are you? If it's just a weed charge like you mentioned you had in Cook County, why are you here?
Same thing, little simple possession, but things happen,
Well, do you have a plan when you get out of here on Monday?
Sure, things do happen.
But I have a job lined up.
Okay.
I got a job lined up, so doing sheet metal. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Is it paying well?
Oh, it's paying well. Yeah.
Good.
I met this guy, not in here either. So
good. That's even better.
Not in here.
Would you say that you credit Amy for turning your life around and getting you back on the straight and narrow?
I mean, I guess since I'm on the radio, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So you play along well. Yeah,
we're gonna hold you accountable. No, but I wish you a wonderful life and just seriously stay on the straight and narrow. Do you think you'll be able to do that?
Oh yeah, as long as I have something to do, keep my mind motivated. I mean, then if I fall back in the same track, I might be in the hotel again. So.
Oh my gosh! Do all the inmates call it a hotel?
They might. I mean, if they get up in 3T, so.
This is a great advertisement for people to come up and commit crimes in Lake County so
well,
they can go to Lake
crimes.
County Jail. Yeah, right.
Low level, very low level.
The officers are pretty good. They treat you nice, so.
That's good.
That's
there's no.
It makes it a lot easier, too, so.
Because the word on the street was that Dave Corbin is the toughest screw who ever walked a turn at Lake County Jail. I don't know if that's true among the prison population. He is Jason Collazo. He is currently a resident, but soon to be freed.
An inmate, not residents.
Well, I'm trying to be.
Oh, you're trying to be keep
nice.
it upper crust,
yes.
are you?
Lake Forest is just down the road.
They're listening.
Spruce it up here. Jason, actually, seriously, thanks for joining us. Good luck to you. Keep it on the straight and narrow.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll try.
Hello, gentlemen. I am the warden. You are here because you are criminals. This is not a resort. You will be worked harder than you have ever been worked in your miserable, pathetic lives.
And play harder, right? I bet.
Step forward, maggot.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
At last, the new year is here. What do you see ahead? Happy days and carefree nights?
Credit card bills?
Right. Credit card bills.
Looking at months of high-interest credit card bills from all that generous holiday gift-giving? Time to go to Lightstream and get a low interest rate credit card consolidation loan. Act now to get an even lower rate with our special radio listener discount. Go to lightstream.com/news to get rates as low as 5.39% APR with autopay. And with average interest rates on credit cards at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands of dollars in interest. Makes the new year a whole lot brighter, doesn't it? The application takes minutes online. There are no fees, and you can have funds as soon as today. So if you have good to excellent credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount at lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/news. lightstream.com/news. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.5% autopay discount available only when you select autopay prior to loan funding. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for important information about limits on Lightstream loans and same-day funding.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Thanks to you, Ace was awarded its 11th straight J.D. Power Award for customer satisfaction with home improvement retail stores. To say thanks, we're giving you 20% off throughout the store. And as always, the help is free. So hurry into your local Ace and save 20% on select items this Friday through Sunday only. Offer valid for Ace Rewards members only at participating stores. Additional conditions and exclusions apply. See store for details. For J.D. Power Award information, visit jdpower.com.
Spearphishing has or will strike your business, wreaking havoc on your employees, brand, and your bottom line. Spearphishing can't be stopped by traditional email security solutions because messages appear to be legitimate from your boss, a trusted colleague, or a vendor asking you to wire money, confirm login credentials, or worse. Barracuda Sentinel is artificial intelligence for real-time spearphishing and cyber fraud defense. Reclaim your email in minutes with zero impact on network performance. Visit barracuda.com/AI.
I don't want to get up. I gotta give the annual report at the meeting today. It's probably gonna be the same old soggy lunch, too.
Sweetie, didn't you say they were having tasty catering at the meeting today?
Oh yeah, I'm up.
Yeah, thought so.
Created by their chefs, perfected in their kitchens, Tasty Catering's corporate menu has meeting goers, power brunchers, and conference attendees thinking twice about showing up late and leaving early. Tasty Catering's executive continental breakfast, wraps, sandwiches, and entree selections are powering your workplace for more than productivity. Taste and experience the difference. Call Tasty Catering today to find out how easy it is to start planning your next corporate meeting or event. Let them help you create the perfect menu. Deliver everything you need, tables, plates, utensils, and more, then come back when you're finished to clean it all up. Tasty Catering, the team to call for your corporate catering. Visit tastycatering.com to see for yourself. Discover the online menu today at tastycatering.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know, when he was talking about that doctor at Cook County Jail, I kept thinking, is it Dr. Nasser, Larry Nasser from Michigan, U.S. gymnastics team?
It's going to be,
Too
but
soon?
he's going to be on the other side of the testing.
Yeah.
It was also a real education for us in terms of what we can and cannot say on the air. So I appreciate that, Jason, for joining us.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good idea for Trump to testify to be interviewed under oath by Special Prosecutor Bob Mueller. We'll take your calls at 7:37.
But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 29 degrees, clouds, and the president in Davos, Switzerland, where he's planning to carry his America First message to the World Economic Forum. The president also said before leaving he's willing to make a deal for so-called dreamers protected by the immigration program known as DACA.
We're going to morph into it. It's going to happen at some point in the future. Over a period of 10 to 12 years, somebody does a great job. They've worked hard. It gives incentive to do a great job.
Speaking to White House reporters last night, the president also said he wants $25 billion to build a wall along the border. Colorado authorities are looking for a gunman who killed a sheriff's deputy Wednesday night. Deputies in Thornton, Colorado, north of Denver, pursuing a suspect on foot when a man pulled out a gun and fired, hitting 32-year-old Deputy Heath Gum in the chest. The president of Michigan State University is resigning after the sexual abuse case of former MSU and USA Gymnastics Dr. Larry Nasser. Nasser was sentenced to up to 175 years in prison. The federal judge who presided over the Senator Bob Menendez corruption trial last fall has tossed one of the charges. U.S. District Judge William Wall's ruling there's no evidence the New Jersey Democrat took $600,000 from a Florida eye doctor, but did rule that 11 other major charges will stand if Menendez is retried. The State Department says 4 Americans are among the dead in a week-long terror attack in Afghanistan. A total of 22 died when the 5 gunmen raided the Intercontinental Hotel in the capital city of Kabul. Meantime, longtime TV reporter and former area PR executive Glenn Selig was among those killed in that Taliban attack. Selig's PR firm in Florida has confirmed he was in Afghanistan on business when the attack took place. Selig was a public relations executive for former Governor Rod Blagojevich. Mayor Emanuel ripping President Trump over the latest move by the Justice Department to crack down on sanctuary cities. Emanuel blasting the White House yesterday while in Washington, D.C.
The idea that the President of the United States and the Justice Department would arrest any one of us for believing in our ideals and carrying out the law of our city is wrong.
Chicago is
fundamentally wrong.
Chicago has sued the federal government over that issue. Workers and visitors at the Illinois Capitol are being told not to use too much water when they wash their hands. Capitol complex managers suggesting that people use a pencil-thin stream to wash, as new water precautions are also in place as the Capitol managers wait for final word on whether the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease is present in the State House water system. A suburban dentist is accused of sexually assaulting a woman earlier this month in Algonquin. Ayman Shirazi was arrested at Water Tower Family Dental on Tuesday. Steve Bannon could be coming to the University of Chicago. The school's newspaper, The Maroon, reporting that the former White House chief strategist has accepted an invitation to speak, but no date has been set. 76ers hammered the Bulls 115-101. Peoria native and former White Sox slugger Jim Thome headed to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Maple Leafs beat the Blackhawks in OT 3-2, and the Fighting Illini get a Big Ten basketball win, their first this season, beating Indiana. The news service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's really cold at this time of the year.
The Joe Walsh Show.
A very nice man in Elgin decided to take in homeless people into his basement to get them out of the cold. And wouldn't you know it, the city government told him to cease and desist. Something about municipal regulations or whatever.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Big government sucks.
A bad cold and flu season is upon us. The main difference between them is the flu brings a fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, backed by more than 70 clinical studies.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads. In the Alarm Detection System Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens inbound, it's heavy Cicero Road to the junction, 23 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 30. Kennedy runs 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 25 from Montrose, 23 in the Express. Outbound 33 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, 1 hour and 15 minutes, 390 to downtown, an hour from Manheim. Outbound 53 minutes to 390. Down Stevenson, 1 hour and 5 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 43 minutes, 80-94 to the Merge. Northbound Tri-State delays, 115th to 31st. Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, the Grand Avenue curve to Irving Park. Veterans Memorial jammed I-55 to the Reagan Tollway and the Army Trail to 290. Their tollways are okay. Traffic service, Comedy Central's new series Corporate. Check out Comedy Central's new series Corporate. Corporate America is a cynical place, but it's nothing more cynicism can't fix. Catch new episodes of Corporate Wednesdays at 10, 9 Central on Comedy Central. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Partly sunny and mild, high 43, clear to partly cloudy, low 34 overnight. Currently, we have 26. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Lake County Jail, broadcasting live from Lake County Jail with our friends, Lake County Sheriff's Office up here, and Sheriff Mark Kern. We'll talk to at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. We just had a rousing conversation with an inmate here, Jason.
Yeah.
And he, by the end of the interview, credited you with turning his life around.
Well, everyone needs to have a plan, whether you're in prison or if you're out walking around freely in this world. You have to have a backup plan. And the best way to stay out of trouble is if you keep busy. As you know, someone once said, you got to keep busy living or keep busy dying.
Yeah, idle hands in the devil's workshop and all that. So thinking about that, I wanted to hearken back to this Peggy Noonan column from over the weekend, and it also because of this panel discussion I mentioned that I was on Chicago Tonight.
Oh, yeah, with the Me Too.
Yeah, about,
What
Me
was the
Too, because
premise?
we were talking about the Aziz Ansari case.
Mhm.
And, all of these cases, these high-profile men, Ansari, Franco, and then obviously, gradations of worse conduct. And Peggy Noonan's column was kind of laments the lack of gentlemen, the disappearance of the gentleman. She writes, I used to think America needed a parent to help it behave. Now I think it needs a grandparent. Our culture has been so confused for so long on so many essentials and has gotten so crosswise on the issue of men and women that we need more than ever the wisdom of the aged. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And the point that she makes is that in all of these cases, were the men creeps or wolves, as she describes? Yeah. Was it criminal in every case? Probably not. But is that the right question to be asking? It's almost like we take this position that if it is not against the law, then, hey, who am I to judge? Rather than, is there a kind of a moral standard, a standard of behavior, the way to comport yourself, men and women, and men with women?
Well, I mean, in some universities, they have them sign consent forms if they're even going to go out on a date.
Yeah, but
which is so ridiculous.
Well, right, but that's the point. So is it going to be kind of teaching people to be ladies and gentlemen again, or is it going to be everybody has to bring a lawyer and a notary public to go to the movies? You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's the point that she's making.
So she's making the point that men aren't men anymore because they can't control themselves?
Well, she's making the point that there's barbarism going in a couple of different directions. The Aziz Ansari case, where the woman went on a first date with Ansari. They went to dinner, blah, blah, blah. She went back to his place. They start to get friendly.
It's called fooling around, but I like friendly.
She says after the fact she gave physical cues that she didn't want to go as far as he wanted to go, but she did anyway, and then she felt recriminations after the fact. And Peggy Noonan writes that she, the woman in the case, has been accused of trying to jump onto the Me Too movement, painting herself as a victim and exhibiting no sense of agency, though she's at least competent at revenge, Noonan writes parenthetically. She expects us to understand why she didn't walk out, why did she stay, and expects such a gross figure suddenly to show sensitivity. In his interactions, as she reports them, he never pretended not to be a pig. Here's why we're discussing this. All these stories we read the past few months about predators, not those accused of rape and sexual assault, which are crimes, but of general piggishness, grabbiness, manipulation, and power games have a common thread. The men involved were not gentlemen. They acted as if they never heard of the concept. And she rejects this idea that this is just kind of, this is all a function of the hopeless patriarchy that we all are oppressed under, at least women are oppressed under, I suppose. But she adds, one thing the Me Too movement illustrates is that women are often at particular risk in the world and need friends and allies to stand with them. That would be men, and the most reliable of them are the gentlemen. And this calls to mind the Helen Alvare piece that we discussed last week, the George Mason University law professor, where she talked about, pro-life women and the sort of feminist cultural left that's driving the Me Too movement generally, even though it's against a bunch of cultural Marxists. They're the targets because they're the perpetrators, generally speaking, in Hollywood, in media, in politics. Not exclusively, but generally. That they don't see their allies, and they don't see the implications of the kind of unrestrained society they wanted, starting with sexual revolution going forward. Pull back all the restraints, whatever's pleasurable, satisfy your appetites, and now we don't like where that has left us, and we don't like how people we have given license and encouragement to act like barbarians, we don't like it when they act like barbarians towards us.
Yeah, but they should be obviously responsible for their own actions, but did they learn this bad behavior from whom? Their fathers just being absent, possibly? Or nobody telling them right from wrong? Because you just have to implement now that no means no, no doesn't mean maybe. That's what you have to tell kids.
Yeah, but yes doesn't necessarily mean yes. And what was I thinking? And can I recast our encounter after the fact if, in retrospect, I regret how it went down? I mean, these are the complications. But forgetting the fact-specific nature of Ansari versus Franco versus Spacey, the whole litany. Just the idea that you're not expected to be a gentleman, and you're not expected to be a lady. In the grandparent definition of that, the World War II generation definition of that. That's why Peggy Noonan's first line is so catchy. It's so grabbing. We don't need a parent. We need a grandparent, because the baby boomers that gave rise to the sexual revolution and all of the horrors that have followed in the last 50 years, well, they don't really necessarily have the moral standing as a generation to speak to this. World War II generation, a little different. Yeah. A little different. And so, the going forward to an era of restraint. The good news is that millennials actually are reacting to Gen Xers and baby boomers rebelling against that licentiousness and seeming to exercise more restraint. They're individualistic, they're secular, but they're also, in some sense, more responsible and more other regarding, in the sense that, for example, they're more pro-life as a generation than the next two successive generations. So, but the idea of restraint, not imposed by law, but imposed by culture and social mores and how you are to comport yourself as a young man or a young woman, that conversation that we don't have. Yes, is the rise of one-parent households and the illegitimacy rate and those sorts of things that all factors in. But there's this kind of this overarching thing regardless of your family situation and whether you're taught in the home or school or the combination of the two, what is being imparted, right? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line, Gabby in Schaumburg. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning, guys. You already touched on what I was going to say, that women need to learn to say no. They need to wise up. You're going to someone's hotel room. What do you think is going to happen? Where are the parents? I had a daughter that I had to tell her, you give your body easily. No one's going to respect you. Save it for someone special. The whole moral compass thing comes in, and it's not just the men. I don't like picking on the men. A lot has to do with these girls that are willing. Look at the spring breakers. They're willing to lift their tops and make out and do all kinds of things for a friggin' shot and a beer. So it's a cultural thing. So that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Gabby. Appreciate it.
I never did that spring break thing, did you?
No.
Like, let's Padre. Oh, this looks miserable down there.
Yeah, I did my spring
Ugh.
break reading Von Mises at Hillsdale College.
Of course you did.
It was quite the party. Murray Rothbard, Madcap.
Did you keep your shirt on?
I
Dan, did you?
I did keep my shirt
Keg
on.
stands?
The Peggy Noonan, going back to her writing on this. A man once told me it's hard to be a gentleman when fewer of the women around you seem interested in being ladies, but that's when you should step up your gentleman game. We are all here to teach and inspire. Matt in Racine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
I do believe that there is definitely a generational fallout as far as, I think, traditional character, morals, values. I'm 42 years old, and I think my generation from the early 70s to mid-70s, as far as birth years for people or children, has really fallen off significantly after that. I look at a lot of the folks my age and older, and overall, and what they learned from their parents about respect and character and moral attitude and everything else, versus generations that were born slightly after me to current date, and I think there's a huge fall off. And I don't think there's anything wrong with reverting back to some of the things that maybe our parents, directed us to at a younger age. And somewhere along the lines, I think we got lost going down that trail. I see it very easily, and talk about this all the time with friends and coworkers and such. So,
Thanks for the comment. You know, one of the things that we had that interview with Pat Deneen, who is a philosophy professor at Notre Dame the other day, and I think the language here is important too. It's not like going back to Ozzie and Harry, going back to the 50s or our grandparents. It's going forward to a new era in real time of restraint and standards of conduct. But it's forward looking. It's not backwards looking, because everybody is about the present and the future. You can't undo or remake the past. So, but this is a forward-looking development, and maybe, somewhat surprisingly, the millennials will help lead us. Sean in Elmwood Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Speaking of the voice,
I find this
of morality.
interesting on a couple of. How are you? I find it interesting on a couple of points. Number one, I raise girls, so the first thing you teach them is respect yourself above all others. And the moment you're offended, spit in their face and walk away, or punch them till daddy pulls you off. One or the other. And the number two thing is, the Ruth Bader Ginsburg story is, do they mean a grandmother like her? Because this bothers me, this story. Let's go over it. This is a Supreme Court justice. She wants you to believe the professor gave her the answers. And after she passed the test, he said, and now you owe me a favor. Is that how it works? Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a liar. She found out he had the test. She jumped in the covered wagon and still can't find her corset, the scarecrow that she is. So I don't buy any of the story, none of it at all. She's a liar. And another thing, we have inmates playing PlayStation 4. Get on the street and pick up their trash. What the hell's going on in that jail? Everybody out. Everybody out and clean up the streets. Illinois is a sewer, for God's sakes.
Well, there's different tiers, and he was in a tier 3, but we'll explain all
Earned
that.
his
And not
privileges.
everybody here
Yes.
is
Yeah, incentives.
doing
It's all
that.
about incentives. That's
Yes.
the story of human conduct. But in terms of the Ruth Bader Ginsburg story, but isn't that an interesting story? Ruth Bader Ginsburg wouldn't give young women the advice that she took. She provided her story, but no one of her ilk on the left is articulating that advice. In other words, what did she do? She got the
she got the answers to the quiz.
Right.
And he said it was a practice quiz and gave it to her. And then when she looked at the real quiz and saw, oh, these are the same questions, he's going to want something from me.
And what did she do?
Well, she took the test, didn't she? And then she went to him and said, I'm not going to.
What she said, she went to him, according to her, and said,
Yeah.
how dare you do this?
Yeah.
How dare you do this? Don't insult me. Don't cheapen me. We're not playing that game. Would Ruth Bader Ginsburg give that same advice to young girls? I mean, everybody applauded.
That's why she's telling her story.
I don't know.
So they can learn from it.
That's
and
not
see
the
what-
advice. That's not the advice that's coming from the left. Who's giving that advice? This is about picking. This is about the patriarchy, the kind of the nebulous patriarchy. This is about saying it's men. This is about believe every story that's told, regardless of its merits. Every woman is at the same time strong and she can make her own decisions, but she shouldn't be held responsible for her own decisions. That paradox. That's what's coming from the left. It's not what Ruth Bader Ginsburg provided as her own case study. And that's the problem. And that's the other half of what Peggy Noonan points out when she talks about the dearth of gentlemen. Dan and Amy coming to you from Lake County Jail.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Thanks to you, Ace was awarded its 11th straight J.D. Power Award for customer satisfaction with home improvement retail stores. To say thanks, we're giving you 20% off throughout the store. And as always, the help is free. So hurry into your local Ace and save 20% on select items this Friday through Sunday only. Offer valid for Ace Rewards members only at participating stores. Additional conditions and exclusions apply. See store for details. For J.D. Power Award information, visit jdpower.com.
Spearphishing has or will strike your business, wreaking havoc on your employees, brand, and your bottom line. Spearphishing can't be stopped by traditional email security solutions because messages appear to be legitimate from your boss, a trusted colleague, or a vendor asking you to wire money, confirm login credentials, or worse. Barracuda Sentinel is artificial intelligence for real-time spearphishing and cyber fraud defense. Reclaim your email in minutes with zero impact on network performance. Visit barracuda.com/AI.
Low T.
Gentlemen, listen up. Gentlemen. No more excuses. It's New Year. It's time to do the things you've been putting off, especially when it comes to taking care of your health. I personally recommended visiting my friends at Low T Center. It's where I got my levels tested. They make it quick and easy. You walk in, you take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you know your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men with low T. If you do have low T, it can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol levels, cause weight gain, cause you to lose muscle mass. If this is something you've been experiencing, you should go get your testosterone levels checked. Guys, take the first step this new year. Contact my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago, on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. 312-239-3427 is the number. Call 312-239-3427 now, or go to lowtcenter.com.
Navigating Chicagoland terrain, the streets and highways in the winter weather is always a breeze, right? Wrong. Unless, of course, you're driving an award-winning Ford SUV or truck from Joe Cotton Ford. Now, more than ever is a great time for a new Ford. America's best-selling brand from Chicagoland's best Ford dealer, Joe Cotton Ford. Not only will you be conquering old man winter, but also getting the white glove treatment without all the hype and pressure you get from other dealers. You see, Joe Cotton Ford is a locally owned dealership that caters to families that keep coming back for generations because of the way they're treated and the Ford brand they can trust. Ready for a different car buying experience with world-class customer service? Then get to Joe Cotton Ford today and drive home your new Ford car, truck, or SUV and forget about not being able to get around town this winter. Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com. joecottonford.com.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. Period.
No, Mr. Obama, we can't. That was the 2013 PolitiFact lie of the year. In 2017, Blue Cross canceled 97% of their policies. Because your 2017 Blue Cross policy was canceled, you're still eligible to purchase a new plan under special enrollment until March 1st, even though Obamacare open enrollment has ended. And depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. Better yet, the Obamacare mandate will be repealed thanks to President Trump, so you'll no longer be fined by the IRS for purchasing lower-priced, short-term plans. There's no one better to help you navigate the Obamacare maze than C. Stephen Tucker. He's a 20-year licensed broker who I know and trust, who's been educating listeners for more than 6 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me.
It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Amanda Zanger, owner of Black Industrial and Safety Supply in Hammond, Indiana, and a business customer of Signature Bank. Prior to owning my own business, I worked for a major financial institution. So when it came time to finance the acquisition of Black, I approached a big bank, only to receive a solid no. That's when Signature Bank stepped in. With Signature Bank, the process was different. Signature provided creative financing options that enabled me to purchase Black and continue to grow the business. Thanks to Signature Bank, Black Industrial is able to continue serving Fortune 500 industry fabricators and contractors with tools and safety supplies as we have since 1893.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we were talking about the lack of ladies and gentlemen. Tom in Oswego, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy.
Hi.
I'm 57. I've got 3 children, and as I was raising my children, I noticed the line being blurred between kids and adults. Many of the adults, and many of these are my friends, let the children run their lives. And I think it created a lot of problems. I used to have neighborhood kids come up to me and say, "How you doing, Tom?" and such. And I used to tell them, "No, it's Mr. Wilder. It's not Tom." So
Yeah, exactly.
I think
It's the
the
same thing I
lines
say
have
to my
been blurred
dad.
from adults to kids. It's to grandparents, and now we don't even know what to call people. Is it Mr., Mrs., Sir, Person X? Kids
Yeah,
are just
right.
on needles and pins nowadays. What do you even address a person by?
Thanks, Tom.
It's a
Got to
shame.
jump.
It's not-
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate the call.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Jessica Witherspoon, Director of Jail Diversion Program for Lake County Jail at 8:08.
But first, here's Mike.
WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
He'll put America first in Switzerland. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump is in Davos at the World Economic Forum. His message:
Hey, come on, world leaders, let's do business in America. We've got tax reform, we've got regulatory reform. It's a whole new ballgame about doing business in the United States.
Fox's John Roberts traveling with the president.
He meets with world leaders like Benjamin Netanyahu later this afternoon, Theresa May of the UK, also meeting with President Kagame of Rwanda tomorrow. And that is to keep up the pressure on North Korea, get even more international pressure against the nuclear program there, keep up the pressure on Iran to rein in its destabilizing behavior.
Now, before going to Davos, President Trump said he's eager to talk to the special counsel. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Insisting that he's done nothing wrong, President Trump said that he's willing and eager to be interviewed by special counsel Bob Mueller, who's investigating Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election.
And I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I guess they're talking about 2 or 3 weeks, but I would love to do it.
The president also insisting that there's been no collusion or obstruction. Later, the president's personal lawyer said the president was speaking hurriedly and intended only to say that he's willing to meet but will be guided by the advice of his personal counsel. Dave?
Well, John, the president also said he's open to citizenship for dreamers. Some immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as kids, though he's also pushing for border wall funding in those talks. They're in mourning in Adams County, Colorado. A sheriff's deputy was murdered last night responding to an assault call.
The male pulled out a handgun and started to shoot at our deputies, striking one of the deputies in the chest. Suspect then took off on foot, later being located and taken into custody.
Deputy Amanda Overton says 2 other suspects still on the run. A Detroit police officer is in critical condition, needing surgery after he was shot last night by a man who then barricaded himself inside a house. He tried to escape when police tear-gassed it, but was captured early this morning. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Clearing skies, 29 degrees. It is 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The State Department confirms 4 Americans were among the dead following a weekend terror attack in Afghanistan. And we're also hearing that a longtime television reporter and former PR executive Glenn Selig was among those killed in that Taliban attack. Selig was a spokesperson for the administration of now jailed former Governor Rod Blagojevich. Selig's PR agency in Florida also handled press for former Bolingbrook police officer and wife killer Drew Peterson. Tackle football would be banned for children younger than 12 under a proposed state law that would be unveiled here in Chicago today. Similar bills in other states would ban the sport entirely for preteens, which would effectively shut down Pop Warner and other youth organizations around the country. It's called the Dave Duerson Act, and the proposed legislation is sponsored by State Senator Carol Sente. Mayor Emanuel tearing into the president over his latest move by the Justice Department to crack down on sanctuary cities.
The idea that the President of the United States and the Justice Department would arrest any one of us for believing in our ideals and carrying out the law of our city is wrong. Fundamentally wrong.
His comments came after the DOJ sent out letters to Chicago and nearly 24 other jurisdictions, including the state of Illinois, threatening them with the loss of grant money if they can't prove they're cooperating with immigration authorities. One man is dead, struck by a Blue Line train overnight on Chicago's near west side, close to the UIC Halstead station. An attorney for an Illinois man accused of sex trafficking is citing the #MeToo movement in her request to delay his trial. The Chicago Tribune reports the man from Naperville is accused of using death threats, vicious beatings, and other abuse to force women into sexual servitude. Ben Simmons, 19 points and 17 boards in the 76ers win over the Bulls, 115-101. Former White Sox slugger Jim Thome headed for the Baseball Hall of Fame. And the Maple Leafs beat the Blackhawks 3-2 in overtime. The news, a service of Accountemps. When you could use help closing your books and you need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance pros on a temporary or project basis. And fast. Call today, Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 8:04 time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, home builder Lennar says its mortgage unit is being investigated by the Department of Justice. Lennar revealed the probe in a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. It says the investigation involves Federal Housing Administration, FHA loans. Sherwin-Williams reported stronger earnings and sales in the recent quarter, but Wall Street was expecting better numbers. The paint company acquired Valspar last year. It's expecting sales to increase this year. You'll be paying more for a washing machine from LG Electronics. The South Korean appliance maker is telling retailers it will raise prices to cover the tariffs imposed by the Trump administration. Whirlpool has accused LG and Samsung of unfair trade practices. The International Trade Commission last year agreed with its claims. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
When you're hiring, you want qualified candidates fast, and it can be hard to know where to find them. More than 3 million businesses use Indeed.com, the world's #1 job site. Whether you need entry-level or highly skilled employees, Indeed helps you find great talent and make the right hire. Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to give their first job post premium visibility as a sponsored job. Redeem this offer at Indeed.com/promo. That's Indeed.com/promo. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
You have to check blind spots to drive safely, right? Same thing goes for identity theft protection. If you just monitor your credit, you might miss something, like your info for sale on the dark web. LifeLock detects a wider range of identity threats to help protect your identity. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock offers visibility you might not get on your own. Membership starts at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS to save 10%.
At last, the new year is here. What do you see ahead? Happy days and carefree nights?
Credit card bills?
Right. Credit card bills.
Looking at months of high-interest credit card bills from all that generous holiday gift-giving? Time to go to Lightstream and get a low interest rate credit card consolidation loan. Act now to get an even lower rate with our special radio listener discount. Go to lightstream.com/news to get rates as low as 5.39% APR with autopay. And with average interest rates on credit cards at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands of dollars in interest. Makes the new year a whole lot brighter, doesn't it? The application takes minutes online. There are no fees, and you can have funds as soon as today. So if you have good to excellent credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount at lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/news. lightstream.com/news.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.5% autopay discount available only when you select autopay prior to loan funding. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for important information about limits on Lightstream loans and same-day funding.
8:07. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. It's heavy on the inbound Kennedy, Harlem to the Burns Circle. It is an hour and 4 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, 42 minutes from Montrose, 38 in the Express, outbound 20 minutes to Montrose, and 40 to the airport. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 27. The Eisenhower's an hour and 15 minutes, 390 to downtown, an hour from Mannheim, and outbound 53 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour 14, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to the Loop, outbound clear. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford, 40. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State stop and go, 120 to 176. Northbound 127th to 31st, from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, and from the Grand Avenue curve to Irving Park. But Adams Tollway tight Bartlett to Barrington. Reagan Tollway 5, Veterans Memorial. Jammed I-55 to the Reagan Tollway, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Northwest Indiana's clear. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny, high 43. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 34. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, winds gusting past 40 miles per hour, mild with a high 53. Then a mostly cloudy and breezy night, low 37. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
28 at O'Hare, 29 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Lake County Jail this morning, and to answer a text from A&B Davis's bowling ball, has Amy Jacobson punched out the largest inmate yet and established that Dan Proft is under her protection. She has indeed done that. So she runs this joint.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's very much like Orange is the New Black in here. The women in charge. Women in charge. And speaking of women in charge, Chief Jennifer Witherspoon joins us now. She's the director of jail diversion programming for the Lake County Jail. Chief Witherspoon, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us what jail diversion programming entails.
Well, actually, I'm the chief of inmate programming.
Okay.
And what I do is I develop programs for inmates so they don't come back.
So give us
give
us an example. You help them get their law degrees.
No, they have to pay like I had to do.
Yeah.
But we have cognitive behavior classes. We have NAAA. We have there's so many. Whatever it takes. What happens is the inmates send me inmate request forms stating, what programs they would like to see. If it's a feasible program and we think that there's evidence-based practices, we will put that program in place.
So some of it is incentivizing things like drug and alcohol, substance abuse programming to reduce their time, and other things are to prepare them. Well, that is too, but other things are kind of incentivizing them to live a productive, independent, law-abiding life after they are released.
Absolutely.
So, Jason also? Oh my God.
Collazo.
Collazo. Name assassinator.
Name assassinator.
All right. Hold up to it. So his plan, he gets out on Monday. We talked to him last hour. How have you tried to keep him focused and prepared him for life after jail?
Well, it was so funny when you said, do you have a plan? Every time I walk through the jail and I see inmates, they'll say, hi, Chief. And I say, hi, do you have a plan? Mm-hmm. So what we have in place is our reentry program. Our reentry program has expanded. Not only do we have for them, we give them resources on the outside that they can use, we're also developing a support group for ex-offenders. We've developed partnerships with different employers to help them get a job. And we also help them, direct them where they can get medical care and treatment if it's needed.
And in this case, Jason, this inmate we spoke with that Amy mentioned, he said he's going to work at a sheet metal factory when he gets out, so he's going to try to end the merry-go-round of in and out of prison.
Right, and another thing is a lot of times when ex-offenders do get out and they try to get a job, they're given these temporary jobs that may last for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days at the most, weeks. But what we try to do is give them full-time employment with these employers that we're partnering with.
Now, he had mentioned that he plays PS4 and all that. We know it's not all rainbows and unicorns here.
Right.
So what gave him the privileges to have a little bit of freedom?
Well, Jason is one of what we call our inmate workers, or I believe Jason works in the kitchen. So if you work somewhere within the jail, you're giving privileges. The other inmates that are in the general population do not receive those same privileges. They are housed in a different dorm away from the general population. So people can't see him playing the PlayStation 3 while they're not playing the PlayStation 3.
So is this like kind of a tiered sort of incentive program?
Yes.
If you do these things, you get this privilege and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
And so is there any way that you guys, and I know it's going to be difficult, people get out of Lake County Jail and they may go somewhere else, but is there any way you're able to track the results of this programming or the recidivism rate among those who've passed through Lake County Jail?
Absolutely. We're doing all of those things. Our reentry specialist, Mr. Todd Fletcher, we have a spreadsheet of everyone that asked for reentry services. You got to remember, we can't force anyone once they leave our doors to do anything. And so what they do is they send a request form to inmate programming and say, I want reentry services. And so everyone that sends that sheet saying that, we track them to make sure that, okay, once they get out, okay, how you doing? Do you need anything? That goes on for about 6 months. Most jails do not do that. So we're unique.
And when some of the politicians like George Ryan and Denny Hester passed through there, did they want to get onto a life straight and narrow? Did they take advantage of the entry services so they could be gainfully employed once they got out of prison?
Well,
Did they get the high score on Call of Duty before Jason?
I don't know. I don't know.
Chief Witherspoon, you have a fascinating story. You were born in Chicago, raised in the Robert Taylor homes?
Yes, I was. My mother, I was one of 7 kids. My mother was a commissioner. Back then it was called the Metropolitan Sanitary District. She was elected to that position. And my dad died when we were young, and it was 7 of us. And even after my mom was elected to that position, she stayed in the Robert Taylor homes for a while before Jane Byrne to make sure some of the programs that she had put in place to assist people continued.
So how did you find your way up to Lake County?
Well, actually, I married one of those guys in the projects. My husband was in the U.S. Navy for 21 years, and when we were in our twilight years, that is before you get ready to retire, he got stationed here at Great Lakes.
Oh, okay.
At the Great Lakes,
Sure.
so that's how I got here to Lake County.
And how long have you been with Sheriff Kern?
Oh, since we both walked in the door on December the 6th, 2006. So I've been here for a while.
What is it like to work with prison population, try and get people to stop the cycle of destructive behavior. I mean, I'm sure it meets with mixed results, but it's got to be gratifying, fulfilling when you're able to help turn somebody around.
It is. It is. Here in Lake County, a lot of the people, when they leave, they stay here in Lake County. So I see them, from time to time walking on the street, and they'll yell, "Hey, Chief, I'm not out. I mean, I'm not back in. I have a plan. I'm using my plan." And it's funny because other people walking by, they don't know what's going on or what that other person is talking about. But it's very gratifying to see that.
And they must know that you don't want to mess with the chief because everybody calls her the chief on the street.
Yeah.
So that's got to be something going on there.
Yeah, yeah.
And what do you love most about your job?
I think I love everything that I do. Most people can't say that, and they can blow smoke and say, "Oh, yeah, I like my boss." No, I really like my boss. I like his ideas. I like what he stands for. So I think that's the best part of my job. I don't have any problem going to him and saying, "Hey, Sheriff, I think that this program would work well, with our inmates." And he'll say, "Go for it. Do it." So most people don't have that type of free reign from their boss, and I think that's the best part of my job.
She is Jennifer Witherspoon, or as she's known in Lake County, just simply the chief.
The chief.
The chief. She's the director of inmate programming at the Lake County Jail. Chief, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Dan and Amy coming to you from Lake County Jail.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up, something's going on with Barney. But first, here's your forecast. Today, partly sunny, mild, a high of 43 degrees. Tomorrow, we're going to hit a high of 53, but wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour. Your weekend looks great. 50 on Saturday, 34 on Sunday, and on Monday when Jason gets out of jail, his first day of freedom, it's going to be cloudy start, then sunshine, a high of 30 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Amy and Dan, it's slow going on the inbound Kennedy this morning, along with the inbound Ike and Stevenson. Kennedy is an hour from O'Hare to downtown. Those inbound delays start at Foster. 44 minutes from Montrose, 40 in the Express, outbound 38 minutes from the airport. Eden's 21 minutes from Lake Cook to the Kennedy, outbound it's 30. The Eisenhower's an hour and 17 minutes, 390 to downtown. 55 minutes from Manheim, outbound 45 minutes, 390. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State delays are from 120 to 176. Northbound, 127th, 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway much of the way to Irving Park. Veterans Memorial, very heavy northbound I-55 to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail toll to 290. Southbound 53, type Palatine Kirchhoff. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Oh, hi. How many of you? Raise your hand if you have a MyPillow. Well, if you don't, you should get one. And right now, we still have the buy one, get one free offer. It expires at the end of January. Now, this deal is only available by using the promo code Amy and not available in stores. So I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage of the buy one, get one free offer before it's gone by using the promo code Amy. I do guarantee you will get the best deal available. I even have a Go Anywhere MyPillow in my car in case I need to take a nap. But the patented fill gives you the comfort you need where you need it the most, meaning the support. So regardless if you sleep on your back or side or stomach, you'll wake up feeling refreshed, energized, and ready to tackle your day. They're made in America. You can wash them and dry them. You don't have to take them to the dry cleaners. Hypoallergenic plus a 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your buy one, get one free MyPillow before the end of January by calling 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And But fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Looking to refinance your existing mortgage and want the lowest rates and lowest closing costs? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Other lenders boast about having low closing costs, which is like me saying I look good in a pair of 32-inch pants. Truth is, other lenders' closing costs are substantially higher than Team Hochberg's closing costs, and I haven't fit into a pair of 32-inch pants in over 40 years. Compare Team Hochberg's closing costs against any other lenders, and if our closing costs aren't lower, I'll donate to Veterans Roasters, an organization who hires homeless veterans to roast coffee, and an organization Team Hochberg already financially supports. When securing a mortgage, you can either work with a lender whose definition of low closing costs are over $1,000 higher than ours, or you can call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Lake County Jail. I'll be talking to Sheriff Mark Kern at 8:35. But Amy, does this song ring a bell? Speaking of old classics.
Barney is a dinosaur from our imagination, and when he's tall, he's what we call a dinosaur sensation.
You can sing along.
Barney's friends are big and small. They come from lots of places. After school, they meet to
Talking
play
about
and
jail.
sing with happy faces.
It's
Barney
mind
shows
warm.
us lots of things like how to play pretend.
So you know Barney, the purple dinosaur.
Well, who doesn't know Barney?
Yeah, well, Barney's
Don't tell me he died because Tinky Winky just passed away.
the Teletubby.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
he-
one with the red purse that Jerry Falwell thought was gay. Remember that one? Yeah, he
Uh,
died, found dead on the streets in London. Apparently died from hypothermia.
Well, it's not. That's this story about Barney doesn't have the finality of that one, but Barney's been retired.
Yeah.
He's no longer the cat's meow among the kids, and so he's got to find work. So the actor, it wasn't
no.
actor. It wasn't
Don't tell me he got into adult porn.
It wasn't actually a
Sorry.
a
Excuse
real
me, too
purple
soon.
dinosaur. He now runs a tantric sex business. Tantric sex guru, of course. David Joyner. 3 to 4 hours are his tantric massage sessions. About $350 for that time for the price. Female clients, the only kinds he
Wait,
accepts.
I'm sorry. What's tantric sex?
I'll explain after the show. The only clients he accepts.
Can I Google it, or am I going to get in trouble?
You can. You can't do it on Salem computers.
Eric Thomas is telling me not to Google.
You receive a ritual bath, chakra balancing, and a massage. Also on the menu, cosmic mind-blowing orgasms.
Okay,
so that's
it's
the.
just a little uncomfortable in front of mixed company, Dan.
Look.
I mean, really?
Your children grew up with them, and they can continue to grow
Oh my God.
with David Joyner in his new calling.
Okay.
Let me give you an example of what one of these sessions. The education received one of these sessions because I can sense your
I
interest.
spelled it wrong.
When the penis and the vagina meet, there's a certain energy that takes place that hands on the body alone cannot create, says Barney. He offers a warm smile along with his tantric instruction. Even through G-spot massage, it's still not the same energy that flows.
So embarrassing yourself right now.
I'm not embarrassed at all. It's just a beautiful thing.
Is it legal?
Oh
boy.
I will pass along the contact information, David Joyner's contact information for you after the show, and then you can get a bit of a tutorial in tantric sex that you're
Well, it
looking
says
up
it's
right now,
it's
trying
an
to figure out what it is.
Well, they say it's an ancient Hindu practice that's been going on for 5,000 years. And it means the weaving of expansion of energy.
Correct. And it's going to continue going on for another 5,000 years if David Joyner has anything to say about it. By the way, just so you know, so you want to get used to the terminology here, I use the colloquial, the pedestrian terms. It's really the lingam and the yoni when they meet.
Okay.
The lingam and the yoni.
Why should I have tantric sex?
Yeah.
Right, that's one of the title.
All right, I've lost Amy. She has ventured down the rabbit hole of tantric sex. So this is a perfect segue to talk to the Lake County Sheriff. Mark Curran, we'll have him coming up at 8:38. Dan and Amy coming to you live from the Lake County Jail.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Federal, state, and excise tax matters are serious and need to be addressed, not ignored. You don't need scare tactics to know procrastination can lead to severe consequences. You need a tax solution partner who will provide an honest assessment of your unique situation and help implement a strategy that fits your circumstances. You need Tax Relief Inc. They've helped hundreds of satisfied customers like Mary.
Through a series of unfortunate circumstances, I found myself owing over $40,000 in back taxes. Tax Relief Inc. was able to negotiate an offer and compromise for $2,400 payable in 3 installments. I never would have been able to reach a settlement like this with the IRS. Thanks, Tax Relief Inc.
Ready for your tax problem relief? Deal directly with owner Joe Shadle of Tax Relief Inc. No salesperson or middleman, just an honest, local, and dependable partner to assist you with the resolution of your tax matter. Call Joe now for a free, no-obligation consultation at 630-655-1040. That's 630-655-1040. Or go to taxreliefinc.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy.
We were talking quickly because there is a new proposal called the Doorson Act to ban kids under 12 in the state of Illinois from playing football. And we have a football coach out here in our audience here at Lake County. And I mean, it's unbelievable. No, it is unbelievable because my stepson plays tackle football. And at age 10, they won their division. And it was so much fun. And it was great to play organized sports and keep them busy, keep them off the computers. And It's appalling to me. And you said she doesn't even have children. The state rep who's authored this legislation.
Yeah, State Rep Carol Sente, who's not running again because she's terrible. She does not have children.
Oh, my God. So she's going to stand there with Dave Doorson's son and 85 Bears players at the Thompson Center today at 11 a.m. to make this big announcement about how the government's going to tell us what to do with our children.
Also, a lot of the CTE research suggests that actually tackle at younger ages isn't really the issue. It's when the kids are bigger and the impacts are
stronger and more
damaging.
repetitive.
Yeah, right. So, as usual, the state of Illinois misapplying the wrong remedies.
Yeah. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Lake County Sheriff Mark Curran about that get-out-of-jail-free card that I want.
All right. We'll see if you finally get it. But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
29 degrees, clearing skies, and the president meeting with several European business leaders today. It's happening at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. The president says he is prepared to be questioned under oath as part of the investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election.
Are you going to talk to Mueller?
I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Speaking to reporters in an impromptu press conference last night, the president said he's looking forward to the interaction. Michigan State University's president stepping down following the sentencing of former Michigan State and USA Gymnastics Dr. Larry Nassar. Luana Simon resigned yesterday after facing public outrage. Colorado authorities are searching for 2 suspects in Adams County this morning, just north of Denver, after a sheriff's deputy was shot and killed last night. A Detroit police officer is in critical condition, shot last night responding to a domestic violence call. A longtime television reporter in Florida and former Chicago area PR executive Glenn Selig was among those killed in a Taliban attack on a hotel in Afghanistan. Selig's agency in Florida says Selig was among those killed. He was a spokesperson for the administration of jailed former Governor Rod Blagojevich and former Bolingbrook police officer and wife killer Drew Peterson. The city of Chicago will sue U.S. Steel. Will allege that it violated federal law with discharges of a potentially carcinogenic chemical from their Northwest Indiana plant. Janice Jackson is officially the new CEO of the Chicago Public Schools. Chicago Board of Education confirming her appointment yesterday. Chicago sports, 76ers beat the Bulls 115-101. Last night, the Maple Leafs dropped the Blackhawks 3-2 in overtime. Former White Sox slugger Jim Thome headed to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And the Fighting Illini are celebrating their first Big Ten win of the year, beating Indiana 73-71. The news service of Audible. Stay motivated, informed, and entertained through the power of audiobooks. Listen anytime, anywhere with the Audible app. Starting with a 30-day trial. Your first one is free. Just go to audible.com. 8:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher breaks down a huge win for the president.
What I would say is this is what leadership looks like. What I would say is, yep, we still got a long way to go. The government is reopened because the president didn't blink. You know what was different? It was in the messaging. You know who delivers a message like a bolt of lightning? Yeah, that guy that lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue these days.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-400-1902. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-400-1902. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-400-1902. 1-800-400-1902.
It is 8:35. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Tri-State Tollway southbound, we're seeing delays from 120 to 176. Northbound from 127th to the Hinsdale Oasis, from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, and from the Grand Avenue curve to Irving Park. Spot Adams Tollway, a brief tap of the brakes. Bartlett Road to Barrington Road. Reagan Tollway's good. Veterans Memorial jammed. I-55 to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Edens, 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 26. Kennedy, an hour. O'Hare to downtown, 44 minutes from Montrose, 40 in the Express. Outbound 38 to the airport, the Eisenhower. An hour and 5 minutes, 390 to the Circle, 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 41 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. The Ryan, 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive delays are from Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. All clear on I-80 and in Northwest Indiana. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast, partly sunny and mild. High 43, clear to partly cloudy, and 34 overnight. Currently clearing skies and 29. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from the Lake County Jail, and we're here in Waukegan. And apparently nobody's working. They're all here watching us. Here's the thing. So, there's so many greats that have come from Illinois, Amy.
Yes.
Jim Thome from Peoria just elected to the Hall of Fame.
Baseball Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Dan. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
thank you.
I'll try to have him on the show tomorrow
I mean,
for
really,
you.
I didn't really have anything to do with it, but it's a happy day.
Well, you were at that blackout game.
I was at the blackout game, 2008, September 30th, 2008.
Oh, my
bottom
gosh.
of the 7th. Homer to dead center. Johnny Danks over Dick Blackburn, giving the White Sox the AL Central title, sending them to the playoffs.
So you remember the situation.
I do.
Yes.
It's those, when you live a relatively empty life, you remember those moments of other people's accomplishments.
Yes.
And you have so few of your own. But here's the thing. So Waukegan, of course, is the home to two great artists, at least two that come to mind. Jack Benny, Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
So we did a little looking at their boyhood homes, Jack Benny and Ray Bradbury, because you know how obsessed I am about property taxation.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
So I'm going to take all the joy out of the remembrances of Jack Benny and Ray Bradbury. Not their work, but what's happening in Lake County, which I believe has the 22nd highest property tax rate as a percentage of home value in the country.
Oh.
That's Illinois. Jack Benny's childhood home, built in 1901 at 518 Clinton Street, had a tax bill of $2,646 in 2016, $3,578 in 2015. Zillow puts its value at market value, $47,000, meaning the effective tax rate as a percentage of home value for Jack Benny's childhood home in Waukegan is 5.7%, which is 5 times the national average, which is about 2.5 times the state average in Illinois, the highest property tax in the nation. Precluding home ownership, destroying home value. Bradbury's childhood home at 11 St. James Street, also built in 1901, sold for $79K in May of 1999. Lake County says it's worth $41,000. Taxes are $2,100. That's an effective tax rate of 5.1% of home value. So we see property taxation destroying home value throughout. It's driving wealthy people out of this state. That's number one. It's also precluding home ownership for those that are trying to get on those first and second rungs of the socioeconomic ladder and climb their way up through the large investment most people make in their lives. That's their home. So do you see how destructive property taxes are? And Lake County in Illinois really is ground zero for this. Places like Waukegan, middle-income communities like Grays Lake, and frankly, go over to the lakefront where the more wealthy people live. It's the same story. You're just talking about different numbers, and obviously families that have a different capacity to deal with these numbers. But it's bad news all the way around, which is why we need to completely rethink how we do property taxation in Illinois. And being up here in Lake County, that gave me the occasion to mention those things. And I'm sure Mark.
No, Dan,
I'm sure Mark Curran, the Lake County Sheriff, would agree with me.
I couldn't agree more. So you're spot on, and Dan, that's one of the things I appreciate about. I appreciate about you is the fact that you speak about these things. It's really kind of, it's not pleasant dinner conversation, if you will, but it's an absolute reality. We're losing a lot of good people out of Lake County. The county government has a AAA bond rating. If you look at what we spend as a county government, it's not high at all. You see our facilities. There's nothing elaborate about it. You're looking at a whole bunch of law enforcement, of which they've chose to work here because the fact that, quite frankly, it's a fun job. 500 square miles. It's we have so many different specialty units that you don't get burned out and all that, but they don't get compensated on the level that any of the nicer suburbs do around here. So our pay isn't real high. Our facilities aren't terrific, but the county government has lived within their means. what you are speaking about is all the schools.
Well, exactly right. I mean, it is the schools. Of course, that's 70 to 90% of the property tax bill, depending on the community. And so it speaks to the need for everybody to have the difficult conversation about blank checks to schools that most people don't want to have, because that's where all the money is. So it's Willie Sutton, go where the money is.
How can we find another way to fund education?
Rather
through property taxes.
Well, have the state live up to its responsibility to be the primary funder of K through 12 education, get out of the businesses it's no good at. Indiana, the state's the primary funder of K through 12 education. They spend 40% less per pupil all in than Illinois does. And by the way, their results are not 40% worse than Illinois'. In most cases, they're better than Illinois', particularly with the big systems like Chicago. And I know we're getting far afield, but this is where kind of different units of government, different stakeholders, including those in government, need to be part of this conversation and say, over there where we've increased spending by a factor of 5, 10, 15, 20 over the last 20 years, are we getting that much better in terms of student outcome? And if we're not, then what are we spending it on exactly? And what's the opportunity cost for that spend when you think about other things like law enforcement? And also, what's it doing to communities that law enforcement has to patrol, particularly here in Lake County, where you've got a county that borders Wisconsin, and people who can leave are leaving, Mark.
Right, absolutely. And, Lake County is situated, it borders Cook County to the south, and it borders Wisconsin to the north, and Milwaukee is a very short ride up the road. And so it's basically the pathway for, drug couriers, what have you. There's a lot going on here, and law enforcement's resources are stretched, So it's, you're right, there's a opportunity cost. You're an economic guy.
Yeah.
From spending the money on all that money on schools, there's not a lot of money for anything else.
Have you seen a lot of people leave Lake County just to move across the border?
Yeah.
Or do you know people personally?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in Deerfield and then Lake Forest, and there's people that are moving out of there, no question about it. And it's, it's upsetting. And you see that people, when they get retirement, they think, the heck with this.
Oh, yeah.
Why would I ever pay all those taxes when I don't have any kids in school or anything else? So they're bailing. So there's really a very little of a senior population left in Lake County, and why would you stay for the weather, what have you? And really nobody's staying of the senior level, and that's big money that's walking out, is leaving because of the tax rates. It's sad.
Well, I mean, even the Chicago Bulls left Lake County. I believe they now actually play their games in Wisconsin. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Do they? Are they still in Chicago? What about, though, the job that you have to do in Lake County? And in some parts of Lake County, you have a street gang problem, and people think Lake County, they may think Highland Park or Lake Forest, but Lake County is diverse, and you've got gang problems. And so how do you deal with the gangs and drugs problems that may be not as pronounced as in Cook County, but is real in parts of Lake County?
Yeah, so I don't know. They just walked into the room. I'm not sure, but Eric Cachel and Vince Marcherano, two of our gang task force members, just came in and SWAT gear, and we're vigilant as far as that. We recognize the fact that Lake County, as you say, it's very diverse. We have a lot of we've historically had gangs in Waukegan, North Chicago, Zion, out west in the Round Lake areas. And so we don't want to be Chicago. We don't want bodies dropping left and right. So we don't have the problem of being politically correct up here on that level. We don't have the problem of handicapping or handcuffing our police officers. We stand beside them, behind them, and recognize the fact that they have a tough job. I'm fumbling my words because I got up really early this morning.
Yeah.
Words are
so,
difficult.
Tell us about
what
it.
the hell?
But you know what? You're talking about gangs, but every high school has gangs, whether you're in Barrington or, every single high school has gangs in it.
Yeah, but at Barrington, it's like West Side Story.
I
it's a lot of
disagree.
dancing.
So, I mean, there's always a problem of people, giving them their first
Yeah,
little hit
yes
for
and
free.
no. Yes and no, Amy. Gangs, essentially, the primary purpose of a street gang is to distribute narcotics. And in order to distribute narcotics, you need to protect the narcotics and the cash. And so you're carrying arsenal, weapons, firearms. And I don't think that, when you talk about, the Barrington High School or what have you, that's much of a problem. You probably have people that maybe are distributing narcotics for the street gangs, but they're not, fighting over territory and what have you.
You're fighting over easements in Barrington.
okay.
So here, but with respect to how do you interact with schools, with local law enforcement? How does that work, particularly if you compare to, like, say, Cook County? What does the sheriff's department do here to try and deal with street gangs at some of the sourcing, so schools, and then what municipal police departments are doing as well?
Yeah, so we're the big dog, if you will. We have about close to 600 employees, and we have countywide jurisdiction. We patrol approximately close to a quarter of Lake County. So we have to work with all the other jurisdictions. We have a countywide task force that they contribute to. Major Crime Task Force is another one where we contribute to. So we work in partnership with them everywhere. We have great relations. The chiefs of police in Lake County, by and large, have always been a pretty good group. You're looking at some people that I've hired a lot of chief of police in Lake County. Dave Hare came from Round Lake Beach. I've hired the last 3 or 4 chiefs of Round Lake Beach to come work here. So,
what about going up the food chain when you talk about federal law enforcement, the alphabet soup of DEA and ATF and ICE?
Yeah. So FBI contributes to our task force. We've had people in ICE task force in the past. They help us out. Quite frankly, most people that go into law enforcement are good people. They want to wear the white hat. They want to serve. They want to make sure that people are kept safe. And so I've never really understood these territorial wars, if you will. We've had great relations with our federal partners. The FBI, they have so much money. So, they send stuff off to labs and get a turnaround like that and what have you. So, you hear about sheriffs in Wyoming and what have you that tell the federal government they can't come into their county. Well, I'm a states' rights guy on some level as well, but there's an absurdity to, that logic.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to ask. I know we asked you this question earlier, but for people who weren't listening, if you arrest somebody on, whether it be a misdemeanor or first-degree murder, whatever you have, and they're here illegally, what is the procedure?
Right. So our procedure is not different than I think anywhere in the country. It's really pretty irrelevant because the federal government, ICE, and this was the same thing. I was president when I was sheriff when Bush was president, when Obama was president, and as Trump is president. Nothing's changed. They have no interest in deporting status offenders. The federal government has no interest in deporting status offenders. So ultimately, this is the way it works, is once they're locked up, they want to know who's in the jail, and then they make a determination whether or not the crime is serious enough or whether it's a returnee or some other reason why they would want to deport them. So they have limited resources. Unless Congress gives them a whole lot more money, that's not going to change. And I just don't see them giving money for that. So nobody in law enforcement really cares, at least on the local level, not the federal level, as to whether or not somebody is here undocumented or not.
Philadelphia Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins, who's a noted criminologist, has suggested that police need to have emotional intelligence testing administered to them. Is that something that you plan to adopt in the Lake County Sheriff's Department?
So yeah, I have similar sentiments as the chief of Dallas did when he said, come apply for a job here and go through law enforcement. There's a reason why it has a higher rate of divorce, a higher rate of addiction, a higher rate of suicide, a higher rate of, you go right down the list of all these ills. And that's because they're fighting on the front lines. It's a battle. And even if they're not getting fired at, they're going into domestic scenes where somebody who's HIV potentially is trying to bite them. They're seeing the worst of all in society, taking needles out of heroin addicts' pockets. And, there's all sorts of dangers, that the public, some in the public don't recognize or don't respect. And this lack of respect for law enforcement, it's a cultural ill, but it's not good because we really are not getting the number of candidates that we got years ago, and nobody is.
He is Lake County Sheriff Mark Kern, who is our generous host today as we broadcast live from Lake County Jail. Mark, thanks so much for joining us and hosting us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Dan, awesome. Thank you for coming up here. And Amy, like I said, you're more beautiful in person.
Aw,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant that.
No, he was talking to me, Dan, not you.
So one of my chiefs, John Patrol, had to get his picture with Amy. So
Yeah, and not
it
you,
is-
Dan.
It's true. Yeah.
All right, y'all have a great one.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mark.
Thank you so much, Sheriff.
Unfortunately, we have another matter to attend to. You are both under arrest on the charge of plaguing your listeners with 4 hours of torturous radio. You have the right to remain silent. As a matter of fact, we all wish that you would. Anything you say will definitely be used against you. May God have mercy on your soul. Will you two please come with us?
Very good. I like it.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. On the occasion of the 44th Annual March for Life, commemorating the worst U.S. Supreme Court decision since Dred Scott, I reflect on my own march. I was born in April 1972, and I was adopted. So had the law been different 9 months earlier, perhaps my birth mother's decision would have been as well. Our rights may come from our Creator, but today, most people equate legal license with moral rectitude. It's not like it's illegal, right? So what's the big deal? For many Americans, it was no big deal that last year Planned Parenthood eliminated 321,384 children created in God's image, just as valuable as me or you or the President of the United States or your favorite actor, athlete, or artist. Roe v. Wade is bad law, both on its merits and its effects. It fueled the drive away from the law as instruction on living the kind, virtuous life. Today, the law mainly serves our how do I get to yes culture by sanctioning the unrestrained appetites of dopamine junkies, so long as the government is cut in on the action. It's one thing for rapacious statists to view us as their sentinels. The trick is getting us to agree with them. Our hope, as exemplified by the March for Life attendees, is to be found in those who don't agree.
AM 560's Passport to Paradise contest is open to any legal U.S. resident, age 18 or older. To enter, download the AM 560 mobile app and fill out the entry form between January 22nd and February 9th, 2018. One grand prize winner will be randomly chosen on February 12th and will receive a 7-night trip for two to Riviera Maya, Mexico, including round-trip airfare and a junior suite at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera, Cancun. Approximate retail value $3,334. Visit 560theanswer.com for complete rules.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has been an all-male military school since 1884, but is going co-ed beginning summer 2018. Their midterm registration is January 21st, and you're invited to attend an upcoming St. John's open house. Consider St. John's Northwestern Military Academy for your son or daughter's middle and high school education in the beautiful Lake Country region of southwest Wisconsin. Your child will receive outstanding academics, superb athletics, leadership opportunities, a chance to live and learn with students from around the world, and most importantly, a safe and structured environment where each student can achieve at his or her full potential. To learn more about how a St. John's Northwestern Military Academy education can give your child the advantage he or she deserves, don't miss an upcoming St. John's open house. For open house dates and more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Geico presents Unhelpful Home Improvement How-Tos.
You can't predict when a pipe will burst, but when one does, you'll have quite a mess on your hands. So today, I'll show you how to prep for water damage by covering everything you own in plastic wrap. All you need is a lot of patience and 15,000 feet of plastic wrap. Now let's get started.
You could try to protect your stuff by covering it in plastic wrap, or you could get covered for personal property damage through the Geico Insurance Agency. Visit geico.com and see how affordable renter's insurance can be.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls, and send texts. Stay connected and work from anywhere with features like Wi-Fi calling and our desktop app. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
The brand new year is the perfect time to add the resolution of getting a FOID card, purchasing your first firearm, or adding to your firearm collection. That's because Schrank Smoking Gun is offering you 2 boxes of 9mm ammo for only $5.60 each with the purchase of any new 9mm firearm. And if you're not sure what to buy, Schrank's expert